Today's game on KFJB-TV is brought to you by Assured Partners, Boy Scouts of America, Edward Jones, Agent Zach Wall, Embers Retirement Community, Honest Heating and Cooling, Jensen Ford, Legends American Grill, Lennox Employees Credit Union, Marshalltown Area Chamber, Marshalltown Community College, McGregor's Furniture and Mattress, Pence Appliance and TV, Wayward Social, Zeno's, Wandering Creek, Wells Fargo Advisors, Farm Bureau, Agent Austin Illum, Rainbow Car Wash, Laurel Diesel Services, Ken's Transmission, 5-Star Real Estate Group, Brown's Shoe Fit, Calvin Rocket, Effington Heating and Cooling, Lily May Chocolate, Marshalltown YMCA YWCA. KFJB-TV, it's Bobcat Game Day Live.
Welcome to Cedar Rapids. Brandon Lewis with you, Dylan Dose as well here on KFJB-TV. Great to have you tuned in tonight as we bring you coverage from Kingston Stadium in Cedar Rapids. It's the Jayhawks and the Bobcats. Jayhawks, a win a week ago as they were on the road. Now they're back home. Bobcats were on the road. They're also on the road here tonight in Cedar Rapids. A loss last week, 32-3 against Mason City. Looking to bounce back in a big way against a team they rolled last year in this stadium.
Yeah, last year it was 48-0. Jayhawks were never in it. Got less than 100 yards of total offense. Bobcats were able to move the ball whenever and however they wanted, and the only thing that limited the score was the time on the clock. This year, a little bit different. Bobcats did not look good on the offensive and defensive lines up in Mason City, while the Jayhawks, they took an 0-for-26-27 record over the last 3 years and got a big, big win and looked good doing it.
Yeah, 0-26, first win under the helm of Ed Miles. It's his second year. I think it's fair to say this is still a team that's got a long way to go, but definitely making some improvements as he establishes what kind of culture he wants to build.
Well, and when we were looking at the two deeps, they were names that we saw last year. These are kids with a lot of varsity experience. And, you know, that whole thing, it can go two ways. If you play a lot of young kids, either you can just get caught in a losing mindset and you just kind of stay and you regress, or those reps, some of those bludgeonings turn into calluses, turn into opportunities, grow stronger and stronger, and become a good football team. Tonight we're going to figure out which one that is for Cedar Rapids Jefferson.
Meanwhile, you mentioned the Bobcat offense sluggish a week ago, to say the least. I don't think it was really any, of the big playmakers. Xavier Anderson, he was under pressure all night. The run game really not going. I mean, it's really the big boys up front. It's the line of scrimmage. How are you going to play tonight? Yeah. Because if you give Xavier Anderson some time to throw, he showed at points last week he's going to deliver. He had a huge connection with Trayshawn Brooks last week. So the big play potential is there with those playmakers, but it's giving them time and the space to run.
Yeah, we'll talk a little bit about that later on. But, yeah, I thought Xavier Anderson actually played better than I anticipated, not knowing him too much as a passer. Did some nice things in the pocket, really led a pretty clean game for the Bobcats offense. Yeah. They ran the ball effectively early, but once they weren't doing a whole lot other, that offensive line really broke down. And that's really where success and failure, that's going to be the line for the Bobcats this year. Coach Goodman said it. He wasn't really worried about his skilled positions, both in the defensive backfield and on the offensive side. He was worried about those linemen, and we did see some some youth there quite a bit, so Bobcats are going to have to be able to get some push on that offensive line.
It is Thursday night under the lights in Cedar Rapids, and tomorrow night is an unveiling project. We're going to talk to Stacy Galima in our halftime report here tonight from Cedar Rapids, but tomorrow night at 5:30, and then I believe a program at 6:30, and things run until 7:30. Unveiling of the Bobcat Sports Complex at Leonard Cole Field. They got the sign up on the press box at Leonard Cole Field, and they're putting the finishing touches. They're power washing the stands earlier today, so it's really an exciting thing. It's like you don't want to overlook tonight, but you are really looking forward to that week 3, getting back home and playing in front of your fans, which are going to be out, I'm assuming, in full force, supporting in a new facility.
It's really been an incredible project seeing just come to fruition. And, man, my wife said if all the construction processes could go as fast as the football field, she'd be much happier. But the football field, they've done a great job out there. And, just being excited from a lot of levels. One, as a parent of a high school student, I'm very excited. As a citizen of Marshalltown, very excited. As a broadcaster, I know we're both very excited. Beautiful field, be able to cut that ribbon and then play ball.
Yeah, so tonight they'll get a little warm-up playing on turf. Of course, in Mason City last week they were on grass as the Bobcats and the Jayhawks kicking off hopefully around 7:30. We're running behind in the freshman game. It's 32-20 right now. The Jayhawks are up on your Marshalltown Bobcats as we currently speak. So hopefully we'll get to kickoff on time right around 7:30. A lot coming up in Bobcat Game Day Live. As coming up next, we normally have our Rainbow Car Wash scouting report, but unfortunately a day early here tonight. We do not have that for you. So when we come back in a little bit, we'll take a look around the conference and take a look at what's going on in Iowa as far as Thursday night action. This is Bobcat Game Day Live from Kingston Stadium in Cedar Rapids on KFJB-TV. Time!
The right insurance agent can make all the difference. Assured Partners agents represent multiple insurance companies. They can pick and choose from a larger variety of outstanding insurance options. Assured Partners also handles life and health insurance and Medicare supplement coverage. With access to local, regional, and national insurance companies, Assured Partners will create policies tailored to the coverage you need. For more information, go online to assuredpartners.com/Marshalltown. Power through partnership with Assured Partners in Marshalltown, Toledo, and West Des Moines.
It's Adventure On for Marshalltown Scouting. Adventures like backpacking, ziplining, rock climbing, canoeing, swimming, and more. Survival skills for a Scout's greatest adventure, life. Scouts give back to the community. Marshalltown Scouts have provided over 1 million hours of service to our community in our 70-plus year history. Scout leaders are highly trained in screen. Parents are a huge part of Scouting, too. Scouting provides unique opportunities available nowhere else. To learn more about Scouting in Marshalltown, go to iascouts.org. Adventure On.
Rainbow Car Wash has been in town over 40 years. New owners Brett and Kim Canada have been with Rainbow for more than 35 years, focusing on quality, cleanliness, and great customer service. Open 24 hours year-round with 2 convenient locations. Each location has 2 oversized truck bays to accommodate large vehicles. All bays except quarters. And for your convenience, newly installed credit, debit, Apple Pay, and Samsung Pay featuring Swipe or Tap to Pay, powerful vacuums, and a great selection of vending supplies. Follow us on Facebook at Rainbow Car Wash, LLC.
Don't let concerns about shifts in the market disrupt your long-term financial goals. Edward Jones financial advisor Zach Wall can help. He'll work with you on an investment strategy for long-term results. Edward Jones can give you the tools and knowledge for a steady approach to hitting your financial targets. Get started by giving Zach Wall a call at 641-752-3017 in Marshalltown or visiting edwardjones.com. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
On KFJB-TV, it's Bobcat Game Day Live.
Welcome back to Kingston Stadium, Cedar Rapids. Bobcat Game Day Live here tonight. It's time to look around the conference, all presented by Brown Shoe Fit. in Marshalltown. Well, we'll get to our East and West Marshall matchups coming up in just a little bit, as tonight, a pretty light night around the state of Iowa in high school football action, as we've only got about 5-6 games aside from this one going on around the state here tonight. Davenport Central taking on Muscatine, who took on Cedar Rapids Jefferson last Friday night. Meanwhile, Dunkerton and Clarksville, it's Gladbrook, Rhinebeck, and Tripola. We'll get updates on that game. Also, Janesville and GMG tonight, so we'll try to get you an update from Janesville here tonight. Also, West Central and Waterloo Christian, and Des Moines Hoover is taking on Oskaloosa. So those are the games going on tonight. Meanwhile, going on tomorrow night, a plethora of games, obviously. East and West Marshall will break that down. Any games you're keeping your eye on here tonight, Dylan?
I'm looking at tonight, really just tomorrow night. You know, you kind of look ahead. You're looking towards what's Davenport North going to do. You're starting to look ahead a little bit of just wanting to start scouting some teams that we'll see later on. Nothing jumping off the screen to me, though, outside of really looking towards that Davenport North Assumption game.
Yeah, they play tomorrow night. Also, Ames around the Iowa Alliance Conference. Ames takes on Ankeny Centennial. That one tomorrow night at 7 o'clock is that game over in Ames. Other 5A games tomorrow night, Des Moines Lincoln and Des Moines East. Des Moines Lincoln, the Bobcats will play them at Mediacom Stadium near the Drake campus later this year. Waukee Northwest, that'll be a good matchup tomorrow night. Also, the big rivalry game, Valley and Dowling, is tomorrow. That's usually a little bit later in the season, but that one a Week 2 matchup.
So, some early ones going on, and, it's nothing but a bloodbath in the CIML. There is talent all over the metro area, and especially with something as Dowling and Valley, a lot of state championships have gone through that meetup.
Ottumwa and Des Moines Roosevelt. Ottumwa will be the host of Marshalltown later in week number 5 for the Bobcats. And Cedar Falls and Johnston tomorrow night in the Unidome in Cedar Falls. So good matchups all around the state of Iowa coming up tomorrow night. That is our look around the conference in the Iowa Alliance, all presented by Brown Shoe Fit in Marshalltown. We'll get a look and a preview of what's going on with West Marshall football after they started the season 0-1. This is Bobcat Game Day live from Cedar Rapids on KFJB-TV.
Brown Shoe Fit has a great selection of athletic footwear. Choose from New Balance, On, Keen, Echo, and much more. Brown Shoe Fit can find the right shoe for every occasion for both men and women, including dress shoes, casual shoes, work boots, and European footwear, carrying multiple sizes and widths to ensure the best fit for you. Their expert-friendly staff is available to give you a personalized experience and can find the right shoes for what you need. Brown Shoe Fit, downtown Marshalltown, with you every step of the way.
There's a city within a city not far from here. The city includes a beautiful apartment building with indoor parking, a chapel, a movie theater, a swimming pool, exercise and recreational facilities, putting greens, and more. The city isn't really a city, but it is a wonderful place to live. Make friends and live your best life. It's the Embers Retirement Community in Marshalltown. The Embers provides security, independence, and companionship. Beautiful grounds outside and lovely studio, 1- and 2-bedroom apartments inside. See it for yourself. The Embers in Marshalltown.
On KFJB-TV, it's Bobcat Game Day Live.
Beautiful night in Cedar Rapids. Here as across the way, the Colonels are in action tonight, Dylan.
It's a great spot. We're over here looking at it. You know, you can smell some of the popcorn coming over. But for those Twins fans, it's the next generation of Twin superstars there on the roster.
Yeah, that's for sure. As welcome back to Kingston Stadium, Bobcat Game Day Live here on KFJB-TV. Now time for our West Marshall preview tonight, all presented by Bailey's Pizza and Roasted Chicken in State Center. Open Friday through Sunday, 4:30 to 8:30. All right, so West Marshall last week, they're 0-1 after a 31-0 drubbing at home as they took on the Nevada Cubs. The Cubs offense passed for 171 yards and ran for 212 on the ground. Quarterback Connor King, he was really tough to stop for the West Marshall Trojans as he accounted for 3 touchdowns in the game. Meanwhile, West Marshall only racked up 86 yards of offense. All of that came on the ground last week. This week, Carson Davis, senior quarterback, will be looking to improve for West Marshall. He went 0 for 6 passing as he takes on South Hamilton with his Trojan teammates. This Friday night, they are in Jewel. South Hamilton 1-0. They started out the season with a 20-14 win over South Hardin. So West Marshall defeated the Hawks last year 41-6. Expecting a much tighter game this year as the Hawks are led by Nick Severson, as he ran for 111 yards last week and a touchdown on the ground. Kickoff tomorrow night is at 7 o'clock. But it is very interesting that West Marshall, not a close game whatsoever against Nevada, which we know. Nevada, we were giving them all the credit in the world. They're a very good team, but just surprising that West Marshall, the lopsided loss.
Yeah, it really is. Well, you're coming from their expectations at West Marshall. They've been so good over recent years, and then you come into Nevada where that's been a back-and-forth rivalry, and just kind of lay an egg. You knew there'd be some growing pains where a lot of that production has now graduated, but it was still odd to see that 0 next to West Marshall. I assume they're going to bounce back and be much more competitive here tomorrow night.
Yeah, I would imagine so. So we'll keep an eye on them tomorrow night. We'll get you scoreboard updates throughout the night, even with that limited action. When we come back, we'll check in on the East Marshall Mustangs. This is Bobcat Game Day Live from Cedar Rapids on KFJB-TV.
Bailey's Pizza and Roasted Chicken and West Marshall football have long been State Center traditions. And with all the changes in life, it seems like traditions are harder and harder to come by. While where you enjoy it might have changed, Bailey's commitment to delicious pizza and roasted chicken can still be found in every bite. Enjoy the local tradition of Bailey's Pizza and Roasted Chicken, open Wednesday and Friday through Sunday, 4:30 to 8:30. Bailey's Pizza and Roasted Chicken in State Center, proud sponsors of West Marshall football.
The votes have been tallied and the people have spoken. Central Iowa's home comfort specialist, Honest Heating and Cooling, is honored to have been voted best of the best in HVAC by you and the Times Republican. As a thanks, Honest is offering a 10% off sale, 10% off diagnostics, 10 off tune-ups, 10 off ductwork renovation, 10% off full system upgrades. Offer valid through September. So thanks for voting for Honest Heating and Cooling, where you'll find Amana, America's brand for comfort. Honest.
On KFJB-TV, it's Bobcat Game Day Live.
Welcome back to Cedar Rapids as it's 32-30 in the freshman game with the Jayhawks leading your Bobcats, but they're knocking at the door here with just under 4 minutes to go. And we're getting ready for the East Marshall preview, and it's presented by Laurel Diesel Services, your locally owned qualified diesel mechanics. And the East Marshall Mustangs are 1-0 after last week's 7-0 thrilling victory against arch rival BCLUW. Junior quarterback Jacob Harrington continued his progression. He went 12 of 21 for 151 yards along with a TD. He was backed up by a trio of teammates, and senior Connor Hassan, Drew Weeder, and Carter Lavender all brought that together for a squeaking out 7-0 win last week. And East Marshall will seek to keep the good times rolling against Cedar. The Cedar Eagles lost in a shootout 45-34 against Storm Lake. As they lost, Cedar really comes down to they're going to be focused on the air attack. And junior A.J. Olin threw for 200 yards and 4 touchdowns last week. If East Marshall's going to go 2-0, it's all going to start with being able to clip that Eagles offense and to find some horsepower in that East Marshall offense. When you look at East Marshall,
puns
they've
aplenty
struggled
for this preview.
That's what we're going with.
Okay.
When you have time to write it out, when you don't drive, you're like, let's use puns aplenty because the freshman game's going late, and I wanted to impress Brandon Lewis.
Well, I am impressed by your abilities.
So when you look at that,
you must have done well in your writing classes in college.
I've been a paid communicator for many years, many years. Really, when it comes down to, we talk about West Marshall. They've been phenomenal for the last handful of years. On the flip side, East Marshall has struggled to really find their footing, and it seems like the shoe's on the other foot, so to speak. What do you see for East Marshall in trying to scratch their way to a 2-0 record?
As Bill Walton would always say, well, Dylan, the Mustang has to go across the prairie and ride its way to victory.
That's good.
I don't know. Something like that.
And we want to do this. This is actually in honor. Now, Bill Walton's healthy, but his Pac-12 Conference of Champions is having its last days.
He's on high alert. We hope that he's doing well.
Doing well.
Might be seeking a little bit of counseling these times.
So this is what we got to ask. What do you think the over-under is on Bill Walton doing a Big Ten after dark game?
He's either moving to the Big Ten or he's moving to the Big 12. He's not staying. I mean, he could retire, I guess, along with the Pac-12.
Some people say he retired a while ago, and he may not be on this earth, but we do love him.
He certainly
Bill
mailed
Walton.
it in a long time ago. That is for sure. Hey, we are in Cedar Rapids tonight. Coming up next, we are going to enter into our countdown to kickoff. We'll talk to head coach Adam Goodman. Also, Jacob Gudith is our Cat Connection this week. We'll also get a preview of our matchup here tonight as the Jayhawks host your Marshalltown Bobcats. Both teams are out warming up outside the facility and waiting for the freshman game to get over as the Jayhawks are up 32-26. Still about 3.5 minutes to go in this one. So, yes, we are running behind. This is Bobcat Game Day Live. You've been watching it right here on KFJB-TV.
When Mike Overton moved to Laurel, Iowa, he had a vision to have a diesel repair shop that would support his growing family and passion for working on diesel engines. Being part of the East Marshall community means ensuring that farmers, truck drivers, and businesses run smoothly. With a large building and state-of-the-art equipment, Laurel Diesel Services is always up for a challenge. When your farm trucks, semis, or other diesel equipment requires maintenance or the occasional repair, take it to Laurel Diesel Services.
Since 1967, Jensen Ford Lincoln has served generations of families around central Iowa. Quality vehicles, professional service, knowledge of our product, that's a part of Jensen. But what's more important to us is a trust that is passed down from every generation. Jensen Ford Lincoln wants to serve your family. We want to be there for your first car, we want to be there for your family SUV, and we want to see you drive away in the Mustang you always dreamed of. At Jensen, we want to be here for you now and every mile along the way.
This is the countdown to kickoff on your home for the Bobcats, KFJB-TV.
Marshalltown Bobcats taking on the Jefferson Jayhawks tonight as both teams out in the facility ready to get going. We are about 30 minutes away from kickoff between these two teams in week number 2 as the Marshalltown Bobcats defeated the Jayhawks 48-0 last year and 2 years ago 68-25 in a drubbing both years. The Bobcats look to answer back a week 1 loss on the road at Mason City with a win here in week 2. Good evening, Bobcat Nation. Brady Lewis with you on the road at Jefferson at Kingston Stadium in Cedar Rapids. Dylan Dose alongside me. As you look at this matchup, we'll get a preview of the Jayhawks coming up. But, you know, we talked about Ed Miles, former Iowa Hawkeye linebacker, former NFL player, coming back, giving back in his in this community of Cedar Rapids and improving in year number 2. They got a win last week against Muscatine, and things, probably heading in a much better direction than they were a couple years ago.
Yeah, it definitely was. First and foremost, last year they just weren't in ball games. They could not produce points. And last week, being able to score 33, they ran the ball effectively last week, which they could not do last year. So it seems all things are pointed upwards. We talked about it in our opening segment, but really what you're seeing is consistent names, which is a big deal, that you're not losing kids, either not coming back out or graduating. So Ed Miles has got to be happy that he looks at a number and he knows the kid's last name for the last couple of years.
Yeah, that's just for sure. Meanwhile, for the Bobcats, what's the biggest challenge for the Cats to bounce back and get a win in week number 2?
It all comes into hat-on-hat blocking. It is really it came down, you can oversimplify certain things, but honestly, in that second half, when they knew the Bobcats were going to run the football, they were jumping the count, and they were bringing 9, even 10 people up in the box. So they are going to get a hat-on-hat and have to block, and Xavier's going to have time to be able to mix in the throw every once in a while.
Could be easy to be critical in week number 1, as always. Always the biggest overreaction is in week number 1. But I think the promising thing, it was 11-3 in the third quarter. You know, I mean, the final score not quite as indicative of really how tight that game was for 3 quarters.
Well, and if you look specifically in the first half, the Bobcats were dominating from a statistical perspective. They were running the ball effectively. I think Mason City, after their first 3 drives, had like 7 yards, and then that 77-yard play. It was a missed tackle, broken assignment, and off another Hobart went running wild up the sideline, and Bobcats found themselves down. It was really those small little things, and like you said, 11-3, Bobcats were fighting, but they just couldn't get anything going, and finally both lines gave way, and the score started to fill up on Mason City's side.
You know, when you get a little bit of adversity, it's always interesting to see how the team bounces back, though. In years past 3 years, Bobcats have lost in week 1, but bounced back with a win in week 2. And I think that's what we've seen so much under the leadership of Adam Goodman, who now in his 7th year for the Marshalltown Bobcats. They always make good adjustments in the second half for the most part, and they also make good adjustments from week to week, and I think that benefits them coming into this game tonight. Short week also might help to clear that mind a little bit, you know?
Yeah, and we talked a little bit about that with him on Friday. I do think it's not rocket science looking back what didn't work. So I'm assuming this week kids knew what they needed to do, knew what they needed to do better, and I anticipate seeing a much stronger team. You're right in the idea that Coach seems to make some good adjustments, second half of the season team. I anticipate the Bobcats coming out being a much more effective blocking scheme on the offensive side.
Bobcats in week number 8 last year. This was one of their 4 wins to end the season. They ended up 5-4, dominated in this game. It'll be interesting to see if they dominate here tonight on the road. When we come back, we will get Dylan's preview, his scouting reports on the Jefferson Jayhawks. This is the Countdown to Kickoff. You're watching KFJB-TV.
Legends American Grill is Marshalltown Steakhouse. Ribeyes and sirloins, aged, hand-cut, and served with your choice of 2 of Legends' legendary sides and a dinner roll. If you are a prime rib fan, Legends has prime rib every Friday and Saturday starting at 4 p.m. With 3 sides to choose from, it's chef-seasoned and slow-cooked to tender, juicy perfection. Try Legends prime rib, and you'll know why it's Marshalltown's favorite. Legends American Grill is Marshalltown Steakhouse.
The equity in your home is power. Power to remodel your home. Take a memorable vacation. Add a deck or patio. Lennox Employees Credit Union can help you unleash the financial power you possess with a home equity loan. Consolidate debt, fund a student loan, or pay for a wedding. The loan process is easy. See Lennox Employees Credit Union, 1004 East Main Street in Marshalltown. Member NCUA, Equal Housing Lender. Online at lennoxecu.com.
This is the Countdown to Kickoff on your home for the Bobcats, KFJB-TV.
Coming up after tonight's game, it is our player of the game. All brought to you by Calvin Rocket Bar and Grill in Marshalltown. They're open for dine-in, patio, or to go. Visit them pre or post-game. That's coming up after the game here tonight. We'll also talk to head coach Adam Goodman. We'll talk to him in our Countdown to Kickoff in a little bit, as well as our Cat Connection. But right now, it is time for Dylan Dose's scouting report on the Jefferson Jayhawks. All brought to you by Century Plumbing.
You just saw the Ed Miles-led Jayhawks there awaiting the end of this game to get ready. And really, Ed Miles last week, a huge, huge win for his program. They snapped a 26-game losing streak, which he wasn't a part of all, but that's a big W next to the Jayhawks. But it's all started last year as a total entire season, 9 games. They had 673 yards, scored 46 points over the season. Game 1, over 450 yards, 33 points on the board, and it all came offensively, starting with senior quarterback Jeremiah Pfeiffer. He was 16 of 32, 162 yards. He threw one, ran one, so he's looking to mix it up a little bit, but really who jumped off the stat sheet last year against Marshalltown, Ishara Calolero ran for 2 yards. Last week, 15 carries, 251 yards on the ground. So they're going to want to look to mix and match on there. On defense, they're going to run some interesting fronts. They're more athletic than they are big, and they have a rover position, and that rover position is manned by Caden James. Caden James is only 5'8", 185, thinking that safety size. But last week, the gentleman had 12 and a half tackles, and he was everywhere. They're looking to put him in positions to make plays, not necessarily play a standard linebacker or safety position. And that's the Jayhawks here. Bobcats don't know fully what to expect. Was last week the real deal? Are they making a big step forward? Or was it that Muscatine was down a star player?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, they had a running back who Ty Kozad was committed to go to Air Force. I think he had his scholarship removed to Air Force. Sometimes the academies, they are very particular about, who knows, could be activists. You don't want to weigh in on that. But, he does have that D1 potential. I think he had a couple carries, almost 100 yards and a touchdown. So that game may have been much different if he would have been through for 4 quarters. But nevertheless, week number 2 is really a lot of proving ground for a lot of teams. It's who's going to man up, make those choices, who's either going to get to 2-0 or, like for the Bobcats, get back to 500, get that win, and establish yourself a little bit more than you did in week number 1, as we're about 20 minutes away from kickoff here tonight at Kingston Stadium. 32-26 the final score in the freshman game, as the Jefferson Jayhawks won that one, as both varsity teams now out on the field warming up as we get ready for this one here tonight. Coming up, our Cat Connection and also our pregame chat with head coach Adam Goodman. But one final piece here is that, when you look at somebody of Ed Miles' stature, former NFL player, I've got to think that he watched film. He knows how to break film down on a super expertise level. And just those different things, it's going to take some time, but also that is a high-level coach over there on that opposing side. If he can figure out all that lower-level stuff and get a good feeder program, that kind of stuff, I mean, he has a potential, I would think, to turn things around.
Well, I think there's a few things. Will the kids that he's playing for him, do they remember him at Iowa? No, but I promise you their parents do.
Yeah.
And if you think at that, even at that Iowa level where he spent 4 years, Norm Parker is one of the best defensive minds, was one of the best defensive minds. His defensive coordinator was stellar at Michigan State and then, of course, at Iowa. That he's been around some great rooms. He not only made it to the NFL, but the group he was with in that room, if it be Abdul Hodge, Chad Greenway, they were all high-level guys. And so I'm thinking one thing, as you look at a team that may be underperforming, how do you keep kids that are talented? I will tell you, a name like Ed Miles helps that. You get some wins going on. I believe he's the right guy to help steer this ship. And if I had a kid in the program, I'd be pretty happy having him under the tutelage of someone with that kind of stature.
We're 20 minutes away from kickoff tonight at Kingston Stadium. It's the Bobcats and the Jayhawks. This is the countdown to kickoff. You're watching KFJB-TV.
When you need a plumber quickly, try Century Plumbing of Marshalltown. We specialize in service plumbing, not new construction or large remodels, so we get to our customers faster, from clogged drains to water heaters and everything in between. We can help with a guaranteed appointment and quality, efficient service. I'm Sarah, co-owner of Century Plumbing, and I'd love to book your appointment today. Call 641-750-0108. That's 641-750-0108.
Small businesses are the backbone of our community. Marshalltown Area Chamber of Commerce reminds you that when you shop locally, you are benefiting members of our community and adding to our local community overall. You'll find local business owners are generally more knowledgeable, provide better service, and even know their customers by name. Marshalltown Area Chamber of Commerce exists to be an advocate for our business community. Membership in the Chamber benefits your business and adds to the strength of our advocacy efforts. For more information on shopping locally and Chamber membership, go to Marshalltown.org.
Hey, Bobcat Nation, welcome back into the countdown to kickoff. It's our Cat Connection, all brought to you by Farm Bureau, Agent Austin Elam in Marshalltown. It's Jacob Goodith, linebacker number 14 for the Marshalltown Bobcats. All right, so game number 1 in the books. Obviously, I know they're not the results you guys wanted against Mason City with the loss, but over the last 3 years, a week 1 loss, but the Bobcats always turned it around with a win in week number 2. I guess in your mind, looking at it, preparing for this Thursday night game, how do you guys really bounce back, get the job done here tonight?
There's a lot that didn't go well week 1, and we've taken that. I mean, every year it's been kind of rough. It's just been about taking what we did wrong and trying to fix it and really prepare ourselves for this week to have the best success.
You know, it always seems like Coach Goodman, a good leader of men, but also adjustments, either whether it's at halftime or from week to week. How much do you learn from him day in and day out about life and also the game of football?
Oh, a ton. He's always ready for anything that we could go against. I mean, the entire coaching staff in general, we're prepared for any situation that we could come across, whether it's like a 1 in a million chance or just anything. We're ready for it.
Yeah, getting you prepared on game days. Put you in the best place to win, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So 4 tackles, tackle for loss. Your performance last week, what did you really take out of it that you liked that you were able to accomplish last week?
I really liked how I was able to just really get in the backfield. I felt good about the way I was getting off the ball. There were a couple times I got through, tripped. I watched the broadcast, and yeah, I got tripped on that one. I was going for the quarterback, but I felt good about that, tracking the ball. Yeah.
Of course, you look at how the season goes, and obviously only game 1, so you got game number 2 here tonight. I'm sure that's kind of a message with you and that linebacker crew, because there's a lot of good players. Xavier Anderson was making plays in the backfield last week. So when you guys look at a whole at the linebacker squad, how much pride do you take knowing that, you know, it's only 1 game, you're able to bounce back, and this has been a tough linebacking crew over the past couple of years?
Yeah, I take a ton of pride being one of these linebackers. I've been a backer all 4 years in high school, and I've really got to watch and learn from guys like Gannon Williams, Nick Rebick, Seth Smith. They've really helped me grow, and I know they've helped the other guys grow. We take a ton of pride being back there and making tackles and just making big hits and helping the team out.
Of course, obviously, in your senior season, what other activities and things are you involved in?
Well, right now I'm not really involved in much outside of football. I'm maybe looking to get into track, maybe some tennis. I don't know yet. I played basketball in the past, but a little on the shorter side for that now, but we'll see.
Hey, if Muggsy Buggs and some of those small guys can get it done, we believe in you, Jacob Goodith. All right, of course, senior season, what do you have planned after school? Are you continuing your education?
Yeah, I plan on going to a 4-year, probably Central College, and I'm looking to become a teacher, teach some history, and coach football like my coaches, and yeah, I'm really excited for it.
Well, hey, best of luck, all right?
Yeah, thank you.
All right, that's Jacob Goodith for the Marshalltown Bobcats. Your Cat Connection, all presented by Farm Bureau Agent Austin Elam, committed to the growth of rural and small communities. This is Bobcat Football. You're watching KFJB-TV.
Even if it's been years since you graduated, your college team is your team for life. Well, you can have a Farm Bureau agent for life, and auto, and home, and business insurance. Imagine that. One insurance agent for everything. It's that simple. So get a Farm Bureau agent for life.
Hi, this is Austin Elam with the Elam Agency. Give us a call, 641-691-3899.
Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, Farm Bureau Property and Casualty Insurance Company.
Why choose Marshalltown Community College for your education?
A quality education.
Hands-on career training.
Convenient on-campus living.
One-on-one attention from my instructors.
Earning my AA degree and transferring to university, all while saving money.
Why was MCC the right choice for me? The great student activities and the friends I met.
2 convenient locations and the option to take online classes.
The right choice is MCC.
Welcome back into the countdown to kickoff here on KFJB-TV. It's our pregame interview with head coach Adam Goodman, all brought to you by Exterior Plus Home Remodeling in Marshalltown. Coach, coming off a loss on the road, 32-3, a final at Mason City. You know, that game was 11-3 in the third quarter. What was your big takeaway? Because I thought that game much closer than the final score indicated.
Yeah, you know, the major thing that we talked about in the locker room after the game was you know, we got to learn from our mistakes, and every mistake that we felt we had is extremely fixable. So that's kind of been our main focus this week in practice is doing your job each, 1/11th, and then resetting in between plays and then go win the next one. So taking it one play at a time and going from there.
You know, you talk about that. Xavier Anderson, 6 of 14 through the air, 63 yards passing, 28 rushing. But, not to put a lot on the five guys up there blocking, but it was like when he had time, he was able to do some really nice things. Has that been a focus, is line of scrimmage play this week?
Yeah, absolutely. We're changing some things up protection-wise, and hopefully we're able to get the ball out of Xavier's hands a little quicker, and he knows where to go with the ball a little quicker, and naturally that's going to probably clean some things up.
I'm sure getting into that first game where it's all you at the quarterback position, it's one of those things where your timing might be a little bit different, nerves, all that kind of stuff, but overall I thought he did handle the situation pretty well, right?
Yeah, I think so too. Like I've told you all along, he's a tough kid. He's mentally tough and doesn't let a lot of things get to him. Mm-hmm. And he's also playing, the entire game. He's playing outside linebacker for us, so it's a lot on his plate. But again, we've got a lot of confidence in him, and excited to watch him grow.
Which he was also getting a lot of pressure on that other quarterback last week, I thought. I mean, there was a couple times where he just missed getting a sack.
Absolutely. He's an active football player, a good athlete, and he's smart. So he's going to be in the right place at the right time quite frequently this year.
Another guy in the right place at the right time, Trayshawn Brooks. He had, just over 30 yards rushing and a couple of receptions, just over 30 yards. He was our player of the week, all brought to you by Calvin Rocket Bar and Grill last week. Also, I think special teams was the area where he really earned that because he had 4 returns, averaging nearly 30 yards per return. He got you over midfield to start off there in the second half. It's just a complete player, it seems like, in his senior season.
Yeah, Trey does an outstanding job. He's a special athlete, and we try to put him in positions to be successful. If you ask him, he feels like he should have broke a couple of those, one being the kickoff and then kind of tripped up on one of those long runs. If we punch one in that first offensive drive and he finds a seam on that opening kickoff of the second half, who knows what the outcome of that game is going to be. We talked about that too. That score didn't really define the overall picture of that game, and we knew that, and we just got to limit our mistakes as much as possible, and that's where our focus is right now.
Past few years, you've ended up on the short end in week number 1, but you've always bounced back in week number 2. Where have you made those best adjustments to make sure that you get that victory on the second game of the season?
Well, I think we're a lot more comfortable understanding of where we're at. We've been quick to figure out and assess our guys and find out what they do well, and and we have made adjustments this week, and we've had some solid practices. So it's a shorter week, but hopefully we're ready to go out and get a win.
Mm-hmm. Health-wise, on a short week, how you guys doing?
Typical bumps and bruises, nothing out of the ordinary, so we're fortunate.
It is Cedar Rapids Jefferson, the opponent. We'll break that down next with Coach right here on the pregame chat, all brought to you by Exterior Plus Home Remodeling in Marshalltown.
My name's Lake Schultz. I'm the co-owner of Exterior Plus Home Remodeling. At Exterior Plus, we truly strive to build relationships one customer at a time. And that's why we're the Midwest's #1 choice in full home remodels. Located in Marshalltown, Iowa, as well as Lincoln, Nebraska, we pride ourselves in providing quality service on time, every time. Give us a call for a free inspection and estimate at 844-261-6111. That's 844-261-6111. Thanks. Talk to you soon.
Back in on the countdown to kickoff here on KFJB-TV. Adam Goodman, head coach for football, joining us here now. And, of course, it's Cedar Rapids Jefferson. Ed Miles' second year. They got their first victory of the season. Of course, last year struggled to do that and put a game in the win column. So they took down Muscatine 33-24 was the final in that one. That was an interesting one. Muscatine scored, I believe, 21 points in the first quarter and then didn't do a ton after that. But, looking at this team, is this a much improved team in his second year at the helm?
Absolutely. It's a lot of those same guys, but they're older now. Like you said, Coach Miles, he's in his second year, and he's got some things going. And you can tell that right off the bat from watching film. Muscatine had he was a state leading rusher a year ago in total yards, but he went down after a couple carries with an injury, and Jefferson was able to take advantage of that, and their offense looked great. Muscatine wasn't able to keep up. So we got a lot to handle this week, and we're excited, though.
For your offense going out there, it looks like they're going to face a pretty good linebacker core, just like they did last week against Mason City.
Yeah, their linebackers are their most talented group of guys on that side of the football. They got some big guys up front, but quite a few of them do play both ways, and they rotate some guys in. So. We got to really focus on ourselves. If we're locked into our assignment and our job each and every single play, I think we'll be fine.
There's a bit of focus to get Tate Ring going on the ground this week, because your recipes for success over the last 2 years when you've dominated Jefferson, it's been on the ground game. You had over 350 yards rushing last year.
Yep, we got to get Tate rolling, and it all starts up front. So we've been working those guys hard all week, not only physically, getting them to their assignment, but mentally as well. We just try to get crisper every single rep that we take, and, following that, it will be Tate right behind it. So.
Kickoff coming up at 7:30. Final question, Coach. As always, your key to victory tonight against the Jefferson Jayhawks.
We're going to have to create some turnovers on the defensive side of the football. We've got to either get an interception or fumble, or we're going to have to block a punt on special teams or something like that. We've got to get some momentum swinging our way and ride that out.
All right, good luck tonight.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, that is head coach Adam Goodman. This is the countdown to kickoff. That's been your pregame chat with Coach, all brought to you here tonight by Exterior Plus Home Remodeling, providing quality service on time, every time. This is Bobcat Football on KFJB-TV.
McGregor's Furniture and Mattress has your mattress. Every firmness, comfort, and support level, each at a great price. Make the investment today for a good night's sleep for years to come. McGregor's also has quality furniture for every room in your home. Beautiful, comfortable sofas, recliners, dinette sets, and office furniture to help you work and relax in comfort and style. McGregor's Furniture is proud to bring you quality furniture and great service, and they are proud to support Bobcat Athletics. McGregor's Furniture and Mattress, downtown Marshalltown, open 7 days a week.
Today's game on KFJB-TV is brought to you by Assured Partners, power through partnership. Boy Scouts of America, Adventure On. Edward Jones, Zach Wall, your financial advisor in Marshalltown. Embers Retirement Community, independent living for active seniors. Honest Heating and Cooling. Let the Honest team watch over your home's comfort 24/7.
Week number 2 of the high school football season about ready to get going in 5.5 minutes from now at Kingston Stadium in Cedar Rapids. Welcome back into the countdown to kickoff. I forgot to tell you, when I went down to the bathroom in between our Cat Connection and Coach Goodman, I saw the mascot in the bathroom, but he had not assembled yet, so
I don't even know what to do with that information.
All I'm saying, there's only 2 people in the stadium that know who the mascot is, and I'm one of the 2 people.
That's fantastic.
Usually you never know. You always wonder who's inside
now,
the mascot.
Funny thing is, my wife's college roommate, her brother, was the T-Wolves mascot for like 4 years.
Oh, wow.
For 4 seasons. He did pretty well. There it is.
He knows me, and I know him. He's being led around, though, unfortunately.
Yeah, giving high fives, avoiding eye contact with Brandon Lewis.
I told him I won't tell anybody.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, let's get to tonight's starting lineups, which all brought to you by Sandvik Enterprises. Let them deliver for you while we deliver the starting lineup. First up for the Jefferson Jayhawk offense, Jeremiah Pfeiffer. We talked about him. No TDs last year. He threw 12 picks, 498 yards of passing, negative 149 on the ground. He did have a rushing touchdown, but he had no time last year, and he really had no time. He had a little bit of time last week, so he was able to put up 162 yards, a touchdown through the air and on the ground.
Yeah, and he really was able. It's amazing what you can do with time and with a little bit of experience under your belt, and he was effectively able to move the Jayhawks on to victory.
Ishara Cololero, the running back, 251 yards, 2 touchdowns a week ago against the Bobcats last year, just 2 yards on 7 rushes. He's a 5'9", 185 junior, so he's still got another year to go. Meanwhile, you look at the wide receivers, they like to spread it around to them. LJ Ninau is the leading receiver from a year ago. 20 receptions, 162 yards, and a touchdown. Carter Bronson, Dayton Guy across the line there. Aiden O'Connor is a starting tight end. No receptions last year or this year. They don't utilize tight end a whole lot outside of blocking.
And one of the things you look at Ninau's stats of 20, a little under 200 yards last week, about 10 yards of reception. They're going to throw the ball around the line of scrimmage, so it's going to be important that those defensive backs for the Bobcats wrap up.
Nelson Evans at left tackle. He's a junior. Matthew Helly is at left guard. He's a junior. Jay Chisholm at center. He's a senior. Right guard, Liam Smith is a junior, and then a senior, Colin Woods, at right tackle. Meanwhile, on the other side of things for the defense, for the Jefferson Jayhawks, a pretty good safety crew back there in Wardley Fanford, as well as Bradley Cable. Ty Coonan is more of a star position. Tyler Houston and Chadrick Elise is at corner. Meanwhile, the guy who's kind of that rover / linebacker, Caden James, as you alluded to, he had 12.5 total tackles last week, 1 TFL. He had 18 total tackles last year, but as a sophomore, he's stepping up into that starting lineup as LJ Elope is linebacker, as well as Eli Zabo. He's at linebacker as well. Evan Smith, Sherman Hopkins, he's a defensive tackle, a senior, 7 tackles last week. Nelson Evans at right end. That's the defense for the Jefferson Jayhawks. Now let's get the starting lineup for the Marshalltown Bobcats as we'll take a look at the Bobcats offense, all brought to you by Sandvik Enterprises. Bobcats offensively will be led by Xavier Anderson. 3 rushes last year in this game. He passed 1 of 2 for 5 yards, did spell last year's starting quarterback in Dalen Houston. But Xavier Anderson coming to this one as he had 63 yards through the air and 28 yards on the ground last week against Mason City as a junior quarterback. We'll be handing off quite a bit probably to Tate Ring in the backfield. In this game a year ago, 49 rushing yards and a touchdown. He'll be key. Also, Davis Ragland, he got some action in this game last year. 4 carries, 25 yards. So that's going to be the offensive recipe, is get the ground game going. That'll open things up through the air.
Yeah, Tate Ring got a lot of run early in that first half last week. It'll be interesting to see if he gets more carries as the game goes on, because he was the most effective rusher last week with over 40 yards on the ground.
Trayshawn Brooks, big in this game a year ago. 2 catches, 65 yards, both of them for a touchdown.
And
pretty good average.
Yeah, it definitely was. The only thing that stopped him was the end zone. And you gave him the play of the game last year.
That's true. He had a 53-yard touchdown in that one. Corey Smith, Caleb Kuzaro also starting at wide receiver. It's Lincoln Barker at tight end, Jackson Hinkle, Michael Narve, Max Reed, Owen Eaton, Tyrell French along the offensive line for the Bobcats. Meanwhile, defensively for the Bobcats here tonight, it'll start up on that defensive line as Lincoln Barker, Owen Eaton, Michael Narve on that defensive line, and then the linebackers hoping to come up and make some plays. We saw Xavier Anderson 2 sacks last week, 5.5 tackles. He had almost an opportunity for 4 sacks in that one. Davis Ragland, Jacob Gouda, Tate Ring at linebacker, Rogelio Sarin at corner, Trayshawn Brooks opposite of him, Corey Smith, Caleb Kuzaro, the safeties here tonight for the Marshalltown Bobcats. We are approaching kickoff. It is next from Kingston Stadium on KFJB-TV.
You should never have to wait after ordering new appliances. At Penn's Appliance, you wouldn't. With an incredible selection in stock and ready to install today. Our friendly team is here to help you pick the perfect set to match your style. And let our professional technicians install and set up your new appliances, often delivering the very next day. Stop in today, see all the new features, and find your new look at Penn's Appliance. For sales and service of everything appliance, go see the Pence team.
As the saying goes, every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end.
He's got a little bit of a seam, gets outside the hash marks at the 40, 50, he might go all the way, 30, 20, 10, touchdown, Tate Ring.
Now you may be asking, what's the new beginning really look like?
Up fakes, rolls out near side, passing, and it's picked. Trayshawn Brooks has it at the 10, he's going to bring it back.
It looks like this.
It's week 2 of the high school football season. The Bobcats look to get on the win column 0-1 to begin the night as the Cedar Rapids Jefferson Jayhawks are 1-0 after a week 1 win. The band is taking the field. We'll have the national anthem coming up in just a matter of moments. But it's week number 2, proving ground. We've said enough about it. Bobcats going to go out and prove it as they'll go out defensively first as the Jefferson Jayhawks won the coin toss and they chose to receive to begin the game.
Yeah, and really the big opportunities, I think Jefferson, if they get something going, it's just going to build that confidence. I want to see the Bobcats D come out, shut the door in their face, get the ball back quickly, and just squash any opportunity for Uncle Mo to be on Jefferson's side.
Kickoff momentarily. We're at Kingston Stadium in Cedar Rapids as we will take it to the national anthem. National anthem just wrapping up here at Kingston Stadium underneath the lights on a beautiful Thursday night. Nothing like an 8 o'clock kickoff here tonight, Dylan.
At least we're over an hour from home, so you get that added benefit on the back end.
All of a sudden we think, we're good to go, and then the teams run off the field. We'll get the national anthem, and then 8 minutes put on the scorebook.
Yeah, it's a late night for those that have to work tomorrow.
I think we need to play freshman games a different night.
Yes.
I'm just going to get that out of the way right now.
Yeah.
I get the whole curtain raiser. I'm good without it.
Yeah.
Let's do it another night.
You want to give the kids
I love Bobcat Nation, but also I love you when we're not starting at 8 o'clock. But that's fine. All right, rant over.
More football. We'll be fine. We'll get there. And I've got tomorrow off, so I don't have to
speak for yourself.
I know Zach Tomish is not happy with that. So
other people have an obligation to fill tomorrow.
And very early. And so just this is what I want you to know. If you're listening to Kicks tomorrow or you're listening to KFJB, you've got to really respect the sacrifice and the stick-to-itiveness of the on-air talent.
I
They're
do.
there very
I
early.
command more respect. I need more, especially from you.
Touche. That's a good call.
Kickoff coming up in just a little bit here at Kingston Stadium. Tonight, Jefferson plays host to the Marshalltown Bobcats, week number 2 on the road here tonight because, well, obviously, something big happening back home as the Bobcats unveiling a new stadium. And we'll talk to Stacey Kalima, assistant AD, coming up at halftime as we'll get her thoughts and break down what's going on tomorrow. But really looking forward to that because it's such a big time for Bobcat athletics with all the stadium and project improvements.
Yeah, and I know I've said this before, but we moved back in December of 2014, and the only athletic facility from the high school level or even the performing arts that hasn't been touched, remodeled, or totally built is the baseball softball field. What they've done over the last 8-9 years has been absolutely amazing and stunning. You're seeing the back of that scoreboard. It's best.
Huge.
It is the best looking big screen I've seen. So if you're going west on Olive, you will see it it is out and proud. And I know talking to people from the band, from different things, they're just excited to be able to march on it.
Yeah.
And let alone just the wonderful athletic opportunities it gives kids.
Davenport North will be the opponent next week. They are in action tonight, so we'll try to get you scoreboard updates about what's going on at Davenport North.
Davenport North's tomorrow. Davenport Central is tonight.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
I thought North was taking on Assumption tonight, but maybe I'm wrong about that. You're right. I think it was. Anyway, week 3, Davenport North.
We're going to put a tally on Dylan's side for Dylan's right.
I got a lot going on here.
I know you
Give
do.
me some respect. I demand it.
I'll give it to you.
All right. Appreciate you. Hey, kickoff coming up in just a little bit. We will take a quick timeout, and when we come back, we'll get you kickoff between the Jayhawks and the Bobcats on KFJB-TV.
You planned and saved for your child to go to college, but medical school after graduation was a surprise. A happy, expensive surprise. Wells Fargo Advisors can help. For more than 125 years, we've created wealth management and investment strategies aimed at achieving our clients' personal financial goals. When opportunities surprise you, turn to Wells Fargo Advisors. Together we'll go far.
Wells Fargo Advisors is located at 14 East South Ridge Road in Marshalltown. Call them at 641-752-5401. They're a member SIPC.
It's week number 2 of the high school football season. The Jayhawks and the Bobcats about ready to take the field. This is there's been a lot of build-up to like my wedding day and the birth of my child, which we know we're going to have a girl now. But
yeah, it was exciting.
This does not top that. But this is quite the buildup.
I'll tell you the best buildup.
Both fan bases are very anxious right now.
Yeah, they're wondering if they need to put more money in the meter, if they've got to change the calendar. But really what we're excited about, this is where we're at up here in the press box, looking over at offensive line coach Mark Bohan and looking at that mustache that he's sporting. Big fans in the KFJB-TV studio.
That is for sure.
But that's where we are with this broadcast tonight, waiting on
Wait,
kickoff.
Did you say Jeff Brooks back in the studio?
I didn't.
Oh, okay.
I said big fans in the KFJB press box. I don't think I said anything about the studio.
I don't know what's going on anymore. I really don't.
It's past your bedtime.
Well, not quite yet. But I think my wife is going to fall asleep before the game even starts. And here they come, the Bobcats onto the field. Xavier Anderson and crew leading the Cats out onto the field for week number 2. A few boos raining over on the field. That's fine.
And on the side, they're trying to call – the coaches on the side are trying to tell the students to be quiet. But I'll tell you one thing. Yep. It has never worked to tell a student section to stop it, to be quiet. It just doesn't work.
What happens is the complete opposite.
Exactly.
Things tend to get a little more rowdy. That is for sure. Jayhawks getting ready to start and get out on the field. Jayhawks will receive to start off the game as the Bobcats will play defense first here tonight. Really like what we saw out of the kicker, Luis Monahay. As last week, 101, he hit a 27-yard field goal. Thought he did pretty good on kickoffs as well.
Yeah, he's got a huge leg. In warm-ups, he's hitting field goals from the 40-yard line. He has got a ginormous leg, doesn't have a lot of football pedigree. One thing I look forward to asking Adam in this coming week is how comfortable, how far out, if necessary, would he use that leg? Because he can boom it.
Well, I think that Luis Monhay and myself can agree that football is life.
It is.
Jayhawks running out with head coach Ed Miles as they are good to go, and so are we here on KFJB-TV. I'm Brandon Lewis. Dylan Does alongside me. Thanks so much for joining us here tonight on KFJB-TV. As I'd like to thank our crew as well, as Zach Tomish on stats here tonight, as Joe is on camera as well as Keith Stewart, and the Todd Father is our producer tonight, Todd Steinkamp.
Always holding it down there. He drove us here in the Kicks wagon, and now he's driving us here. They got a little bit. He was overly confident in the quality of van that it is. But we got here.
We are approaching the final seconds before kickoff finally in Cedar Rapids tonight. Band exiting the field. Thought they had a nice rendition of the national anthem tonight.
They did. It's a good crowd. One thing I noticed this last year coming to Jefferson, they turn out even though a lot of winds haven't followed them.
Turn up.
They turn up, and they are very proud of being from Cedar Rapids, Jefferson. Shout out to the home crowd.
Tonight's kickoff is all brought to you by 5-Star Real Estate Group in Marshalltown, your home team advantage. It's the Jayhawks and the Bobcats, Week 2 on KFJB-TV. Luis Monhay has it teed up as we are good to go here tonight. Deep back for the Jefferson Jayhawks, Carter Bronson, Ashara Calalero, and it's going to be covered up at the 21-yard line. Boy, going down easy on the far side for the Jefferson Jayhawks, and covering that one up, it'll be Uisho Nicole, and that will be where they will start at the 21-yard line for the Jefferson Jayhawks. On the far side hash, they'll go left to right as they'll drive from north to south here at Kingston Stadium. Beautiful night. Lights are turned on. Week number 2. Xavier Anderson and crew out there defensively. Thought Xavier did a really good job getting off the edge, getting pressure in the backfield last week. Hopefully doing more of that because the Bobcats were able to really pressure last year in this game against Cedar Rapids Jefferson, as a couple sacks were picked up in this matchup a year ago.
Yeah, they did a nice job, and Xavier was really active. He'd blitz off that weak side a couple times, making plays, as he's really the major factor in that linebacking crew.
All right, Jayhawks line up, and I think we're going to have an illegal formation. This is going to back up the Jayhawks 5 yards. I think one of the wide receivers was on the line of scrimmage. Could be a false start as well, as maybe a man was coming in motion. So we'll see here as Jayhawks starting this drive at the 21-yard line. That'll back them up near the 15.
And we talked about it last week and a little bit on the trip down, but we see the early penalty on the Jayhawks. The Bobcats, until the fourth quarter, played a really clean game. They kept the laundry off the field. So if they can continue that up and have the Jayhawks self-destruct, that would be a huge positive for the Bobcats.
A man comes in motion. That's Dayton Guy, the wide receiver. They're going to throw the guy out of the backfield, and it's incomplete. So second down and 15 as we're 6 seconds into this one. A long field to drive right now for the Jayhawks in their dark blue tops and the light blue bottoms. Have that kind of North Carolina feel to those uniforms. Meanwhile, the Bobcats in their all white tops and bottoms are on the road here tonight for the red and blue.
And we saw Pfeiffer. They're trying to attack with the short passing along the line of scrimmage. Pfeiffer threw it up the sideline while a guy kind of flattened out there.
Bobcats, 3-down linemen in that 3-4 look. They're going to run on second down and 15 and eaten up at the line of scrimmage. A few yards to gain there. Lincoln Barker and crew in there to help make the stop, as well as a guy on Bobcat Live last night, Davis Ragland, the junior, at 6 foot 200. He had 5 tackles last week. He mixes it up in there. It's going to be 3rd down and 11. It's a gain of 4 for the running back in Ishara Calalero.
Yeah, nice job by Barker getting the initial hit. Now it's 3rd and long, right where the Bobcats want. Would not be surprised to see Xavier bring a little bit of pressure from that linebacking position.
Rahelio Sarin on the bottom of your screen against LJ Nye now. He's going to go deep. He's going to run a comeback route. They try to hit him, and it's into the sideline. Incomplete on 3rd and 11. It'll be 4th and 11. And the special teams crew behind Burton Gazabizzo is going to come out here, the kicker/punter. He handles all of the special teams units. But 4th and 11, great job on that first drive. Much like they did against Mason City last week, forcing an early punt in the game.
Yeah, really, defense was really good early. Xavier did a nice job of playing kind of in the middle, so Pfeiffer didn't have a clear shot at the open wide receiver streaking across the field.
Good snap, but the punt off the side of the foot. It's going to hit at the 40. It's rolling towards the 45, and it will end up right at midfield. And actually on the Bobcat 49-yard line. Is that one a shank by the punter in Gisabuzzo? And that one will be at the 49 for the Bobcats. And the offense will come out here for Xavier Anderson and the Marshalltown Bobcats.
Last week, as we looked at it, Bobcats had terrible starting field position almost exclusively, except for their scoring drive where Trey had that huge kickoff return, got in great field position. Bobcats starting out in great spot here at midfield.
Scoreless as we are 4 minutes into this one here tonight. Ball on the near side hash mark, right to left. Bobcats go on their first drive of the night. Xavier Anderson underneath. Center, he'll hand off to Davis Ragland. He's got an easy 5, nearly 6 yards. Yes, 6 yards on first down as he'll ride it right up the middle. Good run by the junior running back/fullback.
Yeah, and they did that early last week as first couple on the first series. They gave Davis the ball a couple different times, starting with that fullback, as we know Goodman likes to call that. Start with the muscle, and then you start kicking it out to the speed guys on the corners.
Trayshawn Brooks will come in off the sideline. He'll change spots with Tate Ring, the running back, as Trayshawn Brooks elevated to the number 2 spot at running back this week, as we'll see if he can get in the mix and get some distance. As we know, he's such a home run threat in the backfield. And the handoff goes to Ragland again. He spins at the 45. He'll pick up another 1.5 yards to bring up a short 3rd down and 3 yards to go for the first.
Yeah, we already see that, and they're almost looking. They brought Trey in just for one play because last week when he was on, he got the ball. And this way, kind of using him as a decoy. It's really important. What do you do 3rd and 3? Is this a little bootleg out to the flat because the Jayhawks have about 10 guys up in the box, or do they just stick to hat on hat and give it straight ahead for the first down?
Tate Ring on the left edge of the offensive line. Bobcats fake the handoff, give it to Tate Ring. He'll go around right tackle. He's going to be short of a first down by about 1 yard. A 2-yard pickup on 3rd and 3. And the Bobcats will be in a curious situation on 4th and 1. We'll see if they keep the offense out there, and it looks like they will.
I think this is the right call. You're in plus territory kind of early. This is often where I think Coach Goodman, I'm putting my money on Xavier's going to keep this football. Just right behind that left side of the lineup, right behind 67.
He'll get underneath center, quick snap, and run it right up the gut. And Xavier Anderson dives for the first down. He's up to the 40. He has it, a 2-yard gain and a first down. That'll move the sticks for the Bobcats as the ball stays on the near side hash mark in Jayhawk territory.
Yeah, really simple call. You didn't have to be a genius to expect that's what. Here you go. He just rode right on the hip of the right side of the line and was able to get that 2 yards.
That Caden James, though, he is everywhere. He was in the backfield tackling from behind Xavier Anderson. Lucky to get that first down as he shot in there from his kind of that rover spot. Off linebacker, he really moves around. He's going to shoot the gap between center and guard, and boy, they are disrupting things. Sherman Hopkins in the backfield will eat up Tate Ring, a loss of 3, back to the 43.
Yeah, and this is right now where the Bobcats, where they feel comfortable, is handing the ball off, but basically they're trying to play offense in a phone booth. You see, they were able, you look here as just that quick handoff off to the right. But
nowhere
my
to operate,
goodness,
yeah.
defensive tackles in the backfield, defensive ends in the backfield.
No push by that offensive line early on here tonight. The Jayhawks are, starting in the backfield on the snap so far early on here on a couple of these plays. Xavier Anderson drops back to pass. No time at all. Swing pass to the flat to the running back in Tate Ring. Xavier Anderson had a half second. It's going to be a 2-yard loss. There is no protection up front for the Bobcats right now.
And this will be interesting because so far this year we have had a lot more under the center snaps. You saw that there as well. I'm wondering if we're going to have to see a lot more pistol formation as we've seen in recent years just to have that half a second more opportunity even to get rid of the football. But right now the line is kind of producing a little bit more of the same as what was last week.
Negative 5 yards on this current down and distance. It's going to be 3rd down and 15 out of the shotgun. Xavier Anderson behind the back of Trayshawn Brooks. He tried to one-hand it, reaching back. It's incomplete. 4th and 15 for the Bobcats with 6:52 to go in the first quarter. And the Bobcats special teams unit will have to come out here as Corey Smith will punt away.
Yeah, Corey did a nice job punting last week except for one. He had a shank last week. If he can get a good one and get the Jayhawks pinned down, it's where you almost that punting is setting up that next drive. Oh, my goodness, over his head.
And the snap is bad. He'll go back and have to cover it up on the 31-yard line.
That's the type of stuff that is unforced errors, not caused by anything. And you go from getting the Bobcats potentially starting their defense with the Jayhawks inside their own 20 to now they're at the 30-yard line knocking on the red zone.
Well, you take a look at the replay there as it was a bad snap, and Corey Smith, a lot of yards lost right there. A little over 20 yards lost on that snap.
Corey could have been 12-6 and not been able to get that one.
Well, Pfeiffer in the shotgun has his running back to his right. They're going to run a jet sweep to the near side. Cedar Rapids Jefferson down to the 25. A late flag. I think we're going to have a block in the back by the wide receiver on the near side as a flag flies late here. Looks to be a good gain, though, on first down of nearly 8 yards as they ran the jet sweep to the near side with Dayton Guy.
Yeah, that offensive line by the Jayhawks, they were hat on hat just moving, and it's going to be a face mask on the Bobcats to add insult to injury.
So that will back him up. Move him into the red zone. Cedar Rapids inside the 20, down to the 18. So it's 1st and 10 from the 18, ball in the near side hash for the dark blue and light blue in Cedar Rapids. Approaching the 6-minute mark here in the first quarter. Second drive after first drive punt. Pfeiffer drops back, looking over the middle of the field. He has a wide receiver wide open. It's caught upfield down to near the 5-yard line. Carter Brunson makes his 4th catch of the season. 3 receptions, 29 yards last week, and it looks like Tate Ring is injured after the play. As we look at the replay, no coverage right there in the middle of the field. Brunson just left wide open.
Well, it was a great job on the outside receiver. It dragged Davis Ragland out of the play as he went on that out route, and then they just brought Carter Bronson right behind him, put it on the money, and they run really tight formation. So everybody, it's about 10 in with 1 out, and so it becomes very compact in there, and it forces the linebackers to make decisions on where they're going to cover and who they're going to cover. And having that much time in the backfield for Pfeiffer, he was able just to wait for Bronson to open up and be wide open. Bobcat defense is on its heels.
1st and goal. As at the 8-yard line for Cedar Rapids, and good pressure right here for the Bobcats. Owen Eaton gets into the backfield, and he helps make a stop as that one, a loss of 1 yard back to the 8 as it was 1st and goal from the 7. It's actually 2nd and goal from the 8 now as Cedar Rapids nearly in the middle of the field. Taking that snap, good pressure by the Bobcats to get into the backfield.
Yeah, and really it all started, Owen Eaton got the play, but it really started there with Ignacio Macias, who he had a sack last week. Not a big kid, but makes some trouble there in the middle of the lineup.
Pfeiffer in the shotgun. Looked like almost a false start, and yeah, flags fly. It will be a false start as Ishara Cololero, the running back, got moving a little bit too quickly. Might have been the one who was going to get the handoff right there. So 2nd and 13 now after the 5-yard penalty. 5:17 first quarter. Second drive of the game for the Jayhawks after a punt on the first one. Bobcats botched their first drive with a bad snap and gave the Jayhawks the ball in plus territory in Bobcat side of the field.
This is the stuff that makes Ed Miles feel like Ed 100 Miles, is when you get down on the 7-yard line and then 2 negative plays back to back. Not what you want from a coaching perspective for the Jayhawks.
2nd and 13 as Pfeiffer stands in the shotgun. Cololero stands to his right now. 3 wide receivers set to the right side. Man in motion. Cololero gets the handoff, bounces off a Bobcat at the 10, and down inside as Rogelio Sarin brings him down short of the 5-yard line. It's going to be a nice gain on 2nd down, but 3rd and goal from the 6.
Yeah, Owen Eaton had an opportunity to get him around the 10 as you see him bouncing out here. Owen Eaton just kind of ran right into him and wasn't able to release himself from the blocker, but Rogelio was able to clean it up there on the outside.
4.5 minutes left in the first quarter. Bobcats backs against the wall, trying to bend but not break, and it's a handoff to the fullback inside as I believe Sherman Hopkins has checked in that role. And it will be 4th and goal from the 4 as getting up off the pile. Boy, it is kind of hard to read some of those uniforms. Yeah. And getting the carry right there, number 43 for Cedar Rapids Jefferson, Anthony Snoddy, as he got the carry, picked up 2 yards, but 4th and goal for the Jayhawks as they will try the field goal. Burton Gazabizzo, as the ball is marked at the 11, a 21-yard field goal attempt for Gazabizzo. As the righty has a good snap, and the kick is up, and it hits off the crossbar. No good. The Bobcats bend but don't break as they get a little help from the kicker. As that one hits the left side upright, and the Bobcats will get the ball starting on their own 11-yard line on their 2nd drive of the game with 3:36 first quarter.
Yeah, sometimes it's better to be lucky than it is to be good. Bobcats dodge one there just off the upright. But, once they got down inside the 10, when it was 1st and goal from the 7, Bobcats defense really did stiffen up. And now it's up to the Bobcats at their own 20 to get something going, put a couple first downs together.
Ball does move out in high school. It is not where the spot of it. Right. It's kicked. And so, they will start at the 20-yard line. Xavier Anderson underneath center. Fumbles the snap, does bring it back in, but it's going to be a loss of 3. It'll be 2nd and 13. Pretty sloppy early on for the Bobcat offense.
Very much so. And some of it is, if you're Xavier Anderson, we talked about last week, he didn't make mistakes. But if you have to get out from underneath center because you're going to have pressure right on you, Caden James is literally lined up between the 2 D tackles, ready, breathing down your neck. You start to rush. So I will be very surprised if you don't see more pistol. I know I mentioned it already, but there just doesn't seem to be a comfortability right under center. But here he comes right back under.
Corey Smith split out to the far side of the field. Underneath center is Xavier Anderson. He'll hand it off to Kuzaro. Kuzaro round right tackle, but not able to do anything. Boy, good pursuit to the edge for Cedar Rapids, and it's a loss of 2 for Caleb Kuzaro. Back down to the 16-yard line. So 2 plays, negative 4 yards for the Bobcats.
Yeah, this is where the Bobcats, you can tell they can't protect long enough to really feel good about throwing, but trying in that east-west running style, Bobcats are not getting their blocks to the edge, and Jayhawks are just waiting to swoop down on the Bobcats.
Bobcats so far struggling at offense, just 4 yards of offense on the ground, negative 2 through the air, so 2 yards of offense. This is their 2nd drive of the game. Xavier Anderson throws out. Corey Smith tries to slip a tackle, not doing a whole lot. A gain of 1 yard. It'll bring up 4th down and 14 on their own side of the field.
Yeah, it really feels that going in more of the pistol, had time to throw it. You see it right here. Going in the pistol, was able to flip that out there. This is one of the things that you do look at if you can get some times. You get some of those passes in the flat. Is that when we know we're going to see a deep ball to Trey at some point? Is that the next series where we see that? Time will tell.
Corey Smith back to punt. Last time, a bad snap over his head. This one, much better. And the punt is away, a good one, up near midfield and over midfield. Fielded at the 45-yard line, and the Bobcats are able to get him down right there at the 45 as Caleb Kuzero comes in, makes the tackle as Cololero slipped a couple of initial tackles with 1:17 in the first quarter. Cedar Rapids Jefferson onto the field for their third drive.
Yeah, about 40 yards in the air, 38-yard net. It was a really nice kick by Corey. He's got a good leg on him.
A delayed start, a lot of waiting around. I feel like both teams a little sloppy here because of that. And just not flow to your pregame, which I'm sure you have many weeks kind of going into the game. Pfeiffer at quarterback is standing back there with his running back, Ashar Cololero, number 6. Pfeiffer's going to drop back, looking to pass over the middle. Pressure in his face as Nick Wise jumps up, and it is caught up at the 40 and out of bounds. Making the play on the far side of the field, I think that was Jermaine Robinson, and it was Jermaine Robinson with the cares.
Yeah, you see this out, able to get around, and Nick Wise with a spin move. There was a hold there on 75, no call, and just put it in with. Was that number 9?
No, I think it was actually Zach Robinson. Jermaine Robinson was in the area, but it was Zach Robinson with the catch as he makes it down to the 40-yard line in Bobcat territory. 1:03 remaining in the opening quarter. Pfeiffer calls for it, and a big seam right up the gut for the running back in Cololero, and he's going to be shy of the 30. Nearly a 10-yard gain on first down. It's 9 yards, bringing up second down and 1. Ball resting on the far side hash mark as the Jefferson Jayhawks work left to right. They're going to work quickly here as Pfeiffer will move his teammates to the line of scrimmage. He'll clap for it, drops back, looks to pass deep on the far side of the field. He's got coverage beat, but no, taking the ball away. I believe that's Trayshawn Brooks on the far side. He's back to the 10 to the 20 and pushed out of bounds just a few yards shy of the 30, and it's the first interception of the season for Trayshawn Brooks. Last year, an interception, his first here in week 2.
Yeah, this was Pfeiffer tried to go for it all, but it was that double coverage, that two coverage, and there was Trey able to get it, and he wasn't kneeling down. He was going to make a play.
Trayshawn was beat initially, but he used that speed to get back in, and then he played the ball. The wide receiver just moved off the ball, didn't make a play towards it. Great coverage downfield by Trayshawn Brooks to pick up the interception. Much needed because Jefferson was moving the ball at ease on that drive.
And you had that 2-deep coverage. You had that safety on top of there, and the safety was able to play that center fielder, and Trey was able to snag the underthrown ball.
Only the second time we've seen Xavier Anderson out of the shotgun, though, quickly on a wide receiver screen out to the near side to Trayshawn Brooks, almost piling on there late for the Jayhawks linebackers as Trayshawn Brooks up to the 34-yard line. Nice gain on first down as the Bobcats, a first big plus play as that one gains 6 yards and up to the 34-yard line. That'll end the first quarter. We're scoreless at Kingston Stadium in Cedar Rapids on KFJB-TV.
At Sports Plus Sports Medicine and Physical Therapy Center, we customize each patient's treatment plan to their individual needs. What does that mean? It means that not every back or knee problem is treated the same, and that your program will be unique and designed especially for your needs or problem. This improves how quickly you will return to work or sports. The Sports Plus staff is encouraging and takes pride in your successful recovery. This is just one more reason why champions choose Sports Plus Physical Therapy as their favorite place to rehabilitate and train.
It's scoreless after one quarter of play. Let's get a scoreboard update, all brought to you by Central State Bank.
Hoover Huskies are playing Oskaloosa, and Oskaloosa trails 8-7 Davenport Central is trailing to Muscatine 14-7. West Central Blue Devils are tied with the Waterloo Christian Regents at 0-0, and that's the scores we have so far.
All right, 1 quarter down. Let's take a look at Dillon's keys to victory for both squads here tonight at Kingston Stadium.
First and foremost, X Factor. It comes with Xavier Anderson. We've already talked quite a bit about him, but you see why he's so important. Underneath center, able to get the ball out quickly on offense. Can he make plays on defense? Then for Cedar Rapids Jefferson, is it a blip on the radar? Are they really building something here? So far in that first quarter, this looks like an improved Jefferson team than what we saw last year.
Definitely so. Some young contributors. Nick Wise standing in the run in the backfield with quarterback Xavier Anderson as the Bobcats open up second quarter with the first play. And Wise leads for his his quarterback, Xavier Anderson. A first down up to the 39-yard line. Nice gain right there for Xavier to pick up the first down for the Bobcats. I really think, honestly, you're right. I don't think he can be under center, and this offense is going to be successful because there's just no time for him to move. But right there, you get Nick Wise a little block and move that quarterback around. I think much more room to work and giving some avenues open up and some time to see it.
Yeah, they're spreading with a 3 wide, and they're not doing that to throw so much as they are to run the ball effectively.
Pressure in his face, and Sherman Hopkins eats him up. I thought he was going to have some room to work. Flags fly as a tackle is made. It's a loss of 1 back to the 38, but it looks like it's going to be a face mask penalty possibly on Cedar Rapids Jefferson, so that will move the sticks, and the Bobcats will be in Jayhawk territory across midfield.
Yeah, you see Xavier Anderson had to put his helmet back on. It was quite the face mask.
Yeah.
One thing I want to talk about, Nick Wise is in the game. He was the first. There's a handful of sophomores that are really starting to play quite a few minutes, but on defense, he was one of the first to get there. Nick Wise is 140 pounds. He is not a big kid, but he is in the middle of about every play.
3 tackles last week as he came in and helped relieve some of the starters that were gassed because they're playing both ways.
He has a QB pressure already, playing that outside linebacker. He was a lead blocker for Xavier's 5-6 yards. We've covered him in baseball. He's a really good wrestler. He is, if you just see him, he's any kid, but he plays the right way. Coaches have to play him. I've not seen him sit a bench in any game or any team he's been on.
So the ball moves across midfield down to the 46 in Jayhawk territory. Bobcats on their 3rd drive of the night finally have something going. 1st and 10 as the ball resting near the left hash mark. Nick Wise gets the handoff. He's going to be turned around at the line of scrimmage. Nothing doing. Back to the line of scrimmage. Nelson Evans turns him back for Cedar Rapids. And actually, they'll mark it a yard loss. It'll be 2nd and 11 for the Cats.
Yeah, this is where, you want to still run it in some traditional ways just to keep the defense honest. But the Bobcats are going to have to find something, and I really think the running backs that are going to be successful are those that can get through quickly, a Tate Ring or a Trey Brooks.
So 2nd and 11 for Xavier Anderson. He has 3 wide receivers. On the top of your screen, Trayshawn Brooks. He'll look back. And downfield, looking to pass. And, boy, that was coverage all over Trayshawn Brooks as they had him covered up. Tyler Houston makes the tackle. It's a gain of 2 yards through the air. As Houston, with good coverage, he is a senior corner, 6 foot 155, number 2 for the Jayhawks.
Yeah, you see this, and the pressure from Braylon Evans on the outside, but Nick Wise able to pick that up, and then the little crossing for no real gain.
He got grabbed almost 5 yards downfield, which should be holding or pass interference, but no call right there. Xavier Anderson in the shotgun. Roll out to the far side, a bootleg. Looking to the air, throws it up, intercepted up at the 40-yard line. It's going to be returned coming near side of the Jayhawks into Bobcat territory. It's Houston who just had the coverage on Brooks, and he's taking it all the way.
Oh, my God.
It is a 60-yard touchdown interception return for the Jayhawks. And with 9:34 in the second quarter, 6-0 Cedar Rapids Jefferson. Here's the pick right here by Houston as Xavier Anderson had no time. I think he was looking to throw it away, but I think his arm got hit by Hopkins. And, Might have deflected that one just enough, and Houston made an exceptional play to get past a Bobcat.
Yeah, Houston went straight stiff-arm to Xavier Anderson to add insult to injury and planted him and then released himself down the sideline. Huge play.
Gizabizzo is on for the PAT, and it's up and good. 7-0 Cedar Rapids, 9:34. Jefferson leads it against the Bobcats.
Sign up now for the Bowling League at Wayward Social in Marshalltown. So enjoy that like you did so many times in the past. Also enjoy their outdoor patio, Gutter Point Patio and Bar for lunch, dinner, or your favorite beverages. Daily lunch specials each Tuesday through Friday. Happy hours from 3 to 6 p.m. Also Tuesday through Friday. It's a great place to meet your friends after work. Whether it's bowling, dining, the arcade, or your favorite beverage, Wayward Social is the place for you on South 6th Street in Marshalltown.
Bobcats down 7-0 after a pick six. 60-yard return right there as the Bobcats' first turnover of the season right there, and it's a big one and a huge momentum booster. We saw a flag on the field. It was against the Bobcats, actually. I thought maybe we were going to have excessive celebration, but I think the Bobcats were offside on the PAT. It's declined, and it will be Jayhawk football to kick it away at the 40-yard line. So 9:34 in the second quarter. Bobcats down early on the road here, and we said it last week, and it's a rinse and repeat, unfortunately, here in week number 2.
Yeah, right now it feels like the Bobcats just have to get a big play. Right now it doesn't seem like they can consistently up front match that, so we're probably not going to have a lot of long, methodical drives. This is a great opportunity to have a couple playmakers back there, see if somebody return a kick, see if number 3 can get his hands on it and make something special happen.
5-star real estate group of Marshalltown brings you the kickoff. Trayshawn Brooks, Caleb Kuzero back to return this one into the end zone. That'll be the first touchback of the season for Gizabizzo, and it is Bobcat football up at the 20-yard line with 9:34 in the second quarter. You have to regroup after 3 drives, a bad snap and a turnover. Got bailed out by a missed field goal, hit off the left side upright, punted on the second drive, and just threw a pick 6. How do you respond from that being down 7-0?
And that's a big question, is you've got to put people in positions to succeed. We know that the quick passes or the pistol formation has been a positive. We're looking to go, we're going to be back underneath center, see what's able to happen here.
Xavier Anderson underneath center. Kuzero is in the backfield with Davis Ragland. Ragland gets the handoff. No, they pitch to Trayshawn Brooks. He's got a seam. He's up in the 30, breaks a tackle, gets a block from Kuzero and pushed out of bounds a couple yards shy of midfield. And that is the big momentum booster the Bobcats needed right there, as that is a run of nearly 30 yards. It's a 28-yard run for Trayshawn Brooks as he gets the Bobcats up near midfield. As we take a look at the replay, great play. They looked like they were going to go to Davis, but no, Trayshawn got it. A little wide receiver reverse.
Yeah, it had that little sweep action out of that wingback position, and I want to change my answer. The way that we get something going, give it to number 3.
Yeah, that is for sure.
Number 3 is the best playmaker on the field, and he's done a nice job this year with a more limited passing attack to put the ball in his hands.
9:24, second quarter, 7-0 Jayhawks on top of the Bobcats on KFJB-TV.
You planned and saved for your child to go to college, but medical school after graduation was a surprise. A happy, expensive surprise. Wells Fargo Advisors can help. For more than 125 years, we've created wealth management and investment strategies aimed at achieving our clients' personal financial goals. When opportunities surprise you, turn to Wells Fargo Advisors. Together, we'll go far.
Wells Fargo Advisors is located at 14 East South Ridge Road in Marshalltown. Call them at 641-752-5401. They're a member SIPC.
After the 28-yard gain by Trayshawn Brooks, timeout taken by Cedar Rapids Jefferson. It's first down and 10 for the Bobcats at the 49, so actually a 29-yard run by Trayshawn Brooks. Out of the pistol formation, Xavier Anderson. Davis Ragland stands behind him. A keeper for Xavier. He's up at the 50-yard line. Mark it down at the 49, a 2-yard gain, 2nd and 8 for the Bobcats. Early on here tonight, struggles for the offense, but after a Trayshawn Brooks run, you feel a little more positive about the situation. Still only just 7-0 here in the second quarter.
Well, this is the third time the Bobcats have been in plus territory. This is the one where they need to start executing, be able to put points on the board. But unlike last week, they were in bad field position all the time. This week it's a little bit better. Now it's time to capitalize, being able to finish a drive.
Out of a short shotgun formation as Xavier Anderson stands back, looks deep down the far side of the field. Corey Smith goes up for it, in and out of the hands. It is incomplete. As challenging was Bradley Cable, the safety, as he came over top and helped deflect that one. Good play by Corey Smith to try to get that reception.
And you see as he puts it right on the money, but it hung up just a little bit. And Corey, that little bit of it hanging up caused Corey not to be able to bring that in. See, the senior really thought he should have it, though, as he just hit his hand against the turf.
Xavier Anderson back underneath center. 2 running backs, including Trayshawn Brooks. Jacob Gudith has checked in at that fullback spot. He's going to go out into the flat. Corey Smith turned around late. He did not have his eyes on the ball as he was still turning around as that one was in the air. As him and the DB got tied up, it's incomplete. 4th down and 8. Ball resting at the 49 in Jayhawk territory.
And I think they're going to look to go for it again.
I think so too, yeah.
But it seemed like Corey wasn't quite there because Xavier had to throw it again another step early before Corey got out of his break. I wouldn't be surprised to see this one-on-one matchup on this near side with Trey Brooks trying to throw it up here.
So on 4th down, they go for it. Ball resting in the middle of the field, and a timeout's going to be called because 2 seconds were left on the play clock. And timeout will be called by the Bobcats. 8:28, second quarter, 7-0. Jayhawks on top of the Bobcats on KFJB-TV.
At Sports Plus Sports Medicine and Physical Therapy Center, we customize each patient's treatment plan to their individual needs. What does that mean? It means that not every back or knee problem is treated the same, and that your program will be unique and designed especially for your needs or problem. This improves how quickly you will return to work or sports. The Sports Plus staff is encouraging and takes pride in your successful recovery. This is just one more reason why champions choose Sports Plus Physical Therapy as their favorite place to rehabilitate and train.
69 and clear skies, beautiful night. Look at that harvest moon here tonight, Dylan.
It's gorgeous. It still blows my mind that humans have walked on that thing. That's incredible to me.
Some people don't believe we actually landed on the moon, but that's a whole different episode.
Hollywood sound booth.
8.5 minutes to go. Bad low snap again. Corey Smith going back. He will try to run this thing out. He's going to come and cut to the near side. Around the edge, he'll be up towards the 40 and finally brought down. It's going to be a loss of about 12 yards. Special teams killing the Bobcats tonight as that one goes back inside of Cat territory. Sets up well for the Jayhawks with 8:14 second quarter. Jayhawks up 7-0.
You see this, just a bad short snap right in front of him, running around. Corey's able to make the best out of a bad situation. But let's look at 4 Bobcat possessions. First one, snap over the punter head. Lost 20, 30 yards on that. Second one, a punt. Third one, it's a pick, return for a touchdown. This last one, a bad snap yet again. This has been just a bevy of bad news for the Bobcats. It's still just 7-0, but the Bobcat D put in a tough situation yet again.
Bobcat defense has played well here tonight. They've gotten an interception, but as we see, a run by the running back in Cololero. He's going to gain good yardage. They've moved the ball fairly decently here tonight. With that last throw that they had down to the end zone was picked by Trayshawn Brooks. So a carry on first down. We'll have a 2nd down and 3 after a 70-yard gain by Cololero. He looks much improved from a year ago.
Yeah, he's got 23 yards on 4 carries. One is that Bobcat defensive line last year was big and strong.
Yeah.
It's a faster lineup in that 3-4 scheme.
Cololero is going to pick up the first down as he's down to the 31-yard line. A gain of 4 yards. He'll move the chains as coming in late to make the tackle was Owen Eaton. As we approach the 7.5-minute mark here at Kingston Stadium in Cedar Rapids, I'm Brandon Lewis. Dylan Does alongside me. Great to have you along for week number 2. Coming up at halftime, we'll talk to Stacy Galima about the Bobcat Sports Complex upgrades and the big project unveiling tomorrow night in Marshalltown. Pfeiffer in the shotgun. Cololero to his right. 3 wide receiver set. Handoff to Cololero. And a great play right there by the Bobcat defense. Getting into the backfield was Ignacio Macias. We've talked about him a lot over the past couple of weeks. And Macias, a sophomore. That's a really good sophomore class coming up for the Bobcats.
There's a lot of talent everywhere. You have Kyle Smith. You have different people along the side out there, Aiden Smitherman, but you look at Nick Wise, and then Ignacio Macias, heard a little bit about him at practice, but he's not a big kid, 6'8", 200, but he is built low to the ground, seems to get great leverage, and he's been in the backfield numerous times, even just tonight.
Under 7 to go, second quarter. Checking back into the game, Lincoln Barker at defensive end. He's on the far side of the defensive line. Pfeiffer will bring a man in motion. And he'll move out back, and Washington will get the handoff as he checks in. They put Zach Robinson in motion, didn't fool the Bobcats, and it's going to bring up third down and nearly 14 yards to go. So another loss right there, and Bobcats doing good right here on defense to put the Jayhawks in negative territory.
And you saw a tackle by Owen Eaton, but also a familiar name. Davis Ragland's been in a lot of tackles here in the first half, and he helped clean it up along with Owen Eaton.
4 wide receivers, 3 to the far side. Fake the handoff to Washington. Pfeiffer fires out at the 25-yard line, pushed out of bounds shy of the first down. It's Carter Bronson, his second catch of the evening. He had an 11-yard reception earlier tonight, and this one, he just runs a 10-yard out, and the coverage got there a little bit late as Kuzero was able to push him out a couple of yards shy. The sticks 3 yards short right there, bringing up 4th down and 3.
Yeah, and Bobcats run a lot of two-man coverage, a lot of that safety high zone, the old Tampa 2 defense, where if you get that little 10 out, there's kind of a soft spot in that zone there.
Fight for the hard count, trying to draw the Bobcats offside. A handoff on 4th and 3, and they go right side. This is going to be close. Bobcats say the ball came out, but no, they rule him down. But this is going to be close as the handoff went to the up man and Anthony Snoddy, and he's got to be short. It looks like it'll be a turnover on downs. Bobcat defense stiffens again here tonight, much needed because you want to prevent the Jayhawks from going up 2 scores here tonight. Already down 7-0 with 5:47 in the second quarter. Turnover on downs by the Jayhawks.
Yeah, the adage is true so far in the first half. The Bobcats have 9 lives. They've been able to miss a couple things 4 times in plus territory. 3 times on offense, and the Jayhawks have no points. Their only points coming off an interception return for a touchdown.
Bobcats start this drive at the 22-yard line on their own side of territory. Far side hash mark. Davis Ragland gets the handoff. Tough fighting yards up to the 25. It's a gain of 3 for Ragland as he rides a few Jayhawks to a nice gain on first down. As the Bobcats, so far tonight, bad snap. Good plus position for the Jayhawks. They were not able to do anything. A punt, interception, return to pick 6 on the third drive. Bad snap on their last drive, so hoping for more success before halftime. 2nd down and 7 for the Bobcats. They'll put Brooks in motion, bring Kuzero into the backfield with Ragland. Anderson underneath center. Wide receiver sweep to the near side. Using a block, but it's going to be called back. It'll be a holding call. Pushed out of bounds right at midfield. But it's coming back as the Bobcats will be called for holding. Kyle Smith, the wide receiver, the young sophomore out there, got too much of the jersey of the Jayhawks.
Yeah, Kyle's a really talented sophomore. First couple weeks, he's looked a lot like a sophomore. Made some little mistakes here and there, but you can tell when the going gets rough and you need to put it in a playmaker's hand, Trey's going to have to get the ball. One name we have not seen since dinged up earlier, not dunged up. Dinged up earlier.
Yeah, you don't want to be
that's
dunged
different.
up.
Yeah, that's different. That's even worse. But we have not seen Tate Rings since he had a little bit of an issue. Still see him on the sideline, still in shoulder pads, but does not have his helmet on.
He was limited last week, it seemed like. We did not see him out there a lot. That's why we saw Nick Wise at linebacker. Did not have a tackle last week as well. Ragland is in the backfield. I believe Jacob Gudith. They're going heavy on this. Gudith runs into his running. Actually, no, that was Nick Wise. A dump out to the near side, and that went to the fullback in Ragland. It's incomplete as Xavier Anderson and Nick Wise ran into each other in the backfield.
Yeah, right now Xavier's 4-9 for 8 yards and a pick. There's just not, unless we've been able to get it into Trey's hands on the outside, there's just not really a matchup that's been beneficial for the Bobcats.
We are under 5 minutes to go here in the second quarter. 3rd and 17 for the Bobcats on the near side hash mark, going left to right on your radio dial on KFJB News Talk 1230 AM, FM 93.9. Thanks for joining us here tonight. Trishon Brooks at a wide receiver sweep. Got the little flip from Xavier Anderson. About a gain of 1 or 2 yards. It'll bring up 4th down for the Bobcats, and the special teams unit has been shaky here tonight as Corey Smith will go back to punt. A couple of low snaps have been really hard for him to handle. Well, one high, one low.
And one in the middle. He's Goldilocks this thing. Let's see if we can get another one just right.
Smith back to punts. This one high brings it down. And a good punt. It will get up near midfield. No, takes a backwards bounce at the 45-yard line. And at the 43 is where it's handled by the Bobcats. As coming up and making the play for the Cats right there, Mendoza was able to field that one at the 43-yard line. So the Bobcats will give it back to the Jayhawks in plus territory, already in Bobcat territory. They take over with 4:09 to go before halftime, already leading 7-0.
Yeah, it's just it feels like just putting a ton of pressure on this defense. Bobcats, again, we talked a little bit about it. It's not going to be a methodical keep chipping away. I think there's going to have to be a big play. Actually, Coach Goodman talked about a big play, something about momentum in your pregame interview with him. This seems the perfect time for the Bobcats to get a big play.
A sweep to the far side of the field. And Bobcats almost had him down to the backfield. Corey Smith, they slipped the tackle, but Xavier Anderson flies in at the 40 and makes the tackle. It's going to be a gain of 3 going to the far side of the field. It was Jermaine Robinson, wide receiver, got the handoff going in motion right there and picks up decent yardage on first down. So this has been one thing. They've done a lot of different things here tonight, more than what we saw last year, but also they've given Pfeiffer more time to operate at the quarterback spot.
Yeah, they love to run a bunch of stuff around the line of scrimmage, but they've been able to do jet sweeps, throw the ball, just line up and run it. They've been able to do quite a few things.
Dayton Guy goes in motion, and now a handoff right up the gut. It's a big seam, bouncing outside. Colalero at the 10, 5, and brought down at the 1-yard line. 39-yard rumble down to the 1. It will be 1st and goal for the Jayhawks as switching things in the middle of the field right around the 30-yard line. He cut it back. Colalero, as you see the replay right there, they brought a man in motion and just nobody home as he cuts it out right there at the 25 and then comes near side. And finally the Bobcats were able to finish it off as Aiden Smitherman made the tackle. But 1st and goal, they mark him down at the 2-yard line officially. And a timeout will be taken by the Bobcats. We'll take it with them with 3:12 before half. It's 7-0 Jayhawks on KFJB-TV.
Sign up now for the Bowling League at Wayward Social in Marshalltown. So enjoy that like you did so many times in the past. Also enjoy their outdoor patio, Gutter Point patio and bar for lunch, dinner, or your favorite beverages. Daily lunch specials each Tuesday through Friday. Happy hours from 3 to 6 p.m. Also Tuesday through Friday. It's a great place to meet your friends after work. Whether it's bowling, dining, the arcade, or your favorite beverage, Wayward Social is the place for you on South 6th Street in Marshalltown.
Seven to nothing at Kingston Stadium in Cedar Rapids. Jayhawks up 7-0, and they are at the 2-yard line, first and goal after a huge play by Cololero. And so far in this one here tonight, on the ground, 63 yards on 9 carries for Cololero. And he'll get the handoff inside. And no, it's the fullback coming back into the game. He'll get the handoff. Anthony Snody gets the third handoff of the night, and he plows in from 2 yards out. And it's 13-0 Jayhawks on top of the Bobcats.
Yeah, and they're just running right behind Cade Chisholm. The center is absolutely just blowing holes open. If it be the big run by Cololero, if it be the touchdown run, it is the guards in the center. Liam Smith, number 62, playing that right guard. Cade Chisholm, the center's having a huge game, and then Matthew Helly is the left guard.
Wow. Place some bets. This guy's got quite the luck hitting the upright twice here tonight. You hardly ever see that, but doink again. And it is missed on the PAT. It's 13-0. Jayhawks on top of the Bobcats here in the second quarter. As right there, a 2-yard touchdown run for Snody, and they have the lead.
Yeah, it has been, if the Bobcats didn't have bad luck, they'd have no luck at all. They've got 3:08. Here's the silver lining, Brandon. 3:08 left to go. If you're able to get any form of a scoring drive here with 3 minutes to go, Bobcats get the ball right back.
Yeah.
So there is actually a chance the Bobcats could end up taking the lead without Jefferson ever touching the ball if they're able to score on both sides of the half.
3:08 to go before halftime. Our kickoff tonight is all brought to you by 5-Star Real Estate Group. Buy, sell, love Marshalltown with Kristen Pauley and the 5-Star team online at 5starhometeam.com. Goes Bizzo out to kick after missing the PAT. He's hit the upright twice tonight. Could be 17-0 potentially if he would have made both of those. He's got it teed up and back to return. Kuzaro and Trayshawn Brooks for the Marshalltown Bobcats. Averaging nearly 30 yards a return last week against Mason City is Trayshawn Brooks. He'll field it at the 5 as him and Kuzaro fight over it. Kuzaro throws a block. Trayshawn's got some room and pushed out of bounds at the 25-yard line. Decent return of 20 right there for the Bobcats. He'll be marked up at the 27-yard line. That's where the Bobcats will take over. After having no success early on here tonight, this would be a great time for a score just before halftime, as it's 3-0 as we see the lights all flashing around. I think
there's a home run over at Colonel's
Cedar
Park.
Rapids Colonel's player hit a home run, yeah.
We need a home run here. like anything you can do, we can do better. It's time for a home run here at Kingston Field.
Yeah, that is for sure. Looked like a 3-run home run over there. I saw 3 guys celebrating, so. And I just saw the replay of the home run. Wow. Got out well. Trayshawn Brooks gets the handoff. Meanwhile, back here at Kingston Stadium, up to the 29-yard line, a gain of 2 for the senior.
It is interesting. They're playing, they want to get the ball in Trey's hands. They feel most comfortable running the football, so Trey's seeing a lot of time in the backfield. We saw them try to open up the offense going to Corey Smith deep. Coach Goodman's in a tough situation. As a play caller, what can you do if you can't block?
Yeah.
That really makes the game of football pretty difficult.
Xavier Anderson out there in the pistol, trailing 13-0, throws into the flat by Kuzaro. He's eaten up in the backfield. It's going to be a loss through the air. And back to the original line of scrimmage. It'll be 3rd down and 10. And we do have an injury on the field. It looks like the man who got the interception earlier tonight, Tyler Houston, might have got his lower leg wrapped up on that turf.
He's grabbing his right shin, right leg a little, right underneath the knee. Looks to be in some pretty good size pain there.
So the trainers are down on the field taking a look at the injury situation. It is 13-0 with 2:06 in the second quarter. We'll take a timeout. You're watching Bobcat Athletics on your home for the Cats, KFJB-TV.
You planned and saved for your child to go to college, but medical school after graduation was a surprise. A happy, expensive surprise. Wells Fargo Advisors can help. For more than 125 years, we've created wealth management and investment strategies aimed at achieving our clients' personal financial goals. When opportunities surprise you, turn to Wells Fargo Advisors. Together we'll go far.
Wells Fargo Advisors is located at 14 East South Ridge Road in Marshalltown. Call them at 641-752-5401. They're a member SIPC.
13-0 is our score as the Jayhawks leading your Marshalltown Bobcats. And being helped up off the field, it was actually Ty Keenan. He plays at star position, a sophomore, 5'8", 165, and I think he got that right ankle rolled up on as he was trying to make the play on Kuzero. Kuzero lost on the reception, so it's going to bring up 3rd down and 10 for the Bobcats as they're back to the original line of scrimmage.
Yeah, it really is. You can tell that the idea is what we've talked about. How can you get it out quickly? How can you get it to the edges? But it's just not a lot happening run after catch.
Trayshawn Brooks is in the slot on the far side of the field. They look to put Kuzero in motion there, and things got moving early. It's going to be a false start on the Bobcats. Back them up 5 yards, 3rd and 15. No, actually, offside, they say. Hands up in the air for some of the Cedar Rapids Jefferson Jayhawks. Offside, the playmaker, Caden James at Rover, that we talk about making big plays all the time. He was the one offside. He was putting his hands up in the air saying what, but 3rd and 5 will help out the Bobcats in this situation mightily.
Yeah, it allows a lot more going on. You know, it's this offense really needs that opportunity. You can still run it here, but you have Trey in the slot there. You have Corey Smith on the far side. I anticipate a throw to that far side of the field.
Xavier Anderson drops back, looks to pack pressure in his face. He's going to scramble out to the far side of the field, trying to get a block. Can't get it because Corey Smith would have been blocking in the back. Flags fly from the backside of the play as 2 players get into it. Between, I think that was Max Reed, the center for the Bobcats. Yeah, getting into it with one of the Cedar Rapids Jefferson Jayhawks. As Xavier Anderson dives for the first down, it looked like he had the first down and the ball's in front of the sticks, but this might be an offsetting penalty. Could potentially be a first down depending on if they rule it was after the play or not.
Yeah, Xavier did a great job of getting his head down and being able to get to the sticks depending on this penalty.
And Jayhawks are backing up, so that should mean it's on them as Max Reed was getting up late. 1:31 to go before halftime. Bobcats trying to get a score before the break, as Dylan alluded to. Yeah, they do have the ball first to start off the second half, and it's a personal foul in that scrum on the Jayhawks, and that'll be a first down. So the run and then the penalty will move the ball over midfield, and the Bobcats will be in prime territory at the 48-yard line in Jayhawk territory to try to get that score before the break with nearly 90 seconds. Just one timeout, though, for the Bobcats here before the break.
Yeah, we get one timeout, one opportunity to stop. And how much do they trust the leg of the young kicker?
David Anderson drops back. Wide receiver screen out on the near side, but the block didn't get executed. And flying in, making the play in the backfield, Wardley Fanford. He is the safety as Trayshawn made the catch. And he's just back to the line of scrimmage. And a timeout's going to be called for the Bobcats with 1:18 to go before halftime. So big situation right there. You were looking at maybe, and that's the biggest thing right there, is trying to get Trayshawn Brooks in a little bit of space. But again, Corey can't block 2 guys on that play, and just kind of took a little bit longer to progress than it probably needed to.
Yeah, and it really is that issue. Everything's coming up. You would like to see, okay, we've gone short. You'd like to see a double move there, but the question comes, can you block to allow that double move to happen? Some of the biggest plays we've seen in Trey's career come off of that double move on the outside.
Second quarter, 1:18 to go before halftime. As the Bobcats in Jayhawk territory, 2nd down and 10 out of the timeouts. Xavier Anderson will be out there with his running back and Nick Wise standing to his right. Corey Smith, Trayshawn Brooks, the wide receivers. In the slot on the near side, the sophomore Aiden Smitherman,
who coaches just love. We haven't seen it translate quite yet.
Xavier Anderson drops back, goes to Smitherman, and he is well hit. Fanford makes the hit. Good yardage, as it will be 3rd down and about 4 yards to go, about 5 potentially. We'll see where they officially spot it, but inside the 45-yard line.
Little out route here you see right at the 37. Quick hit, rode out of bounds, stops the clock with 73 seconds to go. Bobcats, this is probably 2-down territory.
3rd down and a long 4 to go here. Xavier Anderson will go deep, just chucks it up. It's intercepted by Fanford and dropped. Incomplete, almost his 2nd interception of the night. Just a lob to Corey Smith, but he did not have a read on that play. It's luckily incomplete, bringing up 4th down.
Yeah, just kind of turned and threw it up. It was really not a lot of rhyme or reason you see this. Xavier knew where he was going the whole time, but he just throws it up, and
I think some perceived pressure right there on that.
Yeah, Trey went topside, and it was 4 defenders and 2 Bobcats.
Corey Smith, Smitherman on the top side of the screen. On the bottom side, center of the corner blitz, it looks like. Going to leave Trayshawn covered with the safety. Broken coverage, or broken play.
Face mask.
At a face mask. That'll fly in late on 4th down and 4 for the Bobcats. They'll get bailed out by a 15-yard penalty, as it definitely didn't look like the incidental face mask right there, as the Jayhawks, another personal foul, their 2nd one of the drive.
Yeah, they've given the Bobcats 45 yards with 3 procedural issues and then 2 of these personal fouls. Went up high. Really, you'd love to see Xavier kind of hang in there a little bit, because they were blitzing from Trey, and the whole thing is you always throw towards or go towards where they're blitzing from. But football God shone on us this evening. We're getting another 1st down.
Officials will mark this off as we're 58 seconds away from the midway point of this one at Kingston Stadium in Cedar Rapids. Inside the 30 now, ball resting on the far side hash mark as the Bobcats going into the south end zone. 1st and 10. All at the 28-yard line. Xavier Anderson, 3 wide receivers set. Wise standing to his right. Drops back, looks into the flat. Wide receivers bump. That's got to be pass interference on Smitherman. And it is. Chadrick Elise on the coverage, and it will be pass interference on him.
Yeah, it was one of those, the ball kind of fluttered a little bit out there, and that actually helped the Bobcats, because on the timing, they ran right through the back of Aiden Smitherman. And he didn't show up a little early. He showed up while they were still making dinner. He was way early.
47 seconds now before halftime. This one will be marked off. It'll be an automatic 1st down for the Bobcats, as the ball will be spotted down at the 14-yard line. It'll be 1st down and 10.
And remember, anything in play that's not a 1st down, the clock will still run.
Bobcats looking for their first touchdown of the season. They've played 5 scoreless quarters as far as touchdowns go. They do have a field goal. Go for Trayshawn Brooks, picked in the end zone. Tyler Houston, his 2nd interception of the game. And actually, no, that's going to be Bradley Cable making the interception number 3 in the back of the end zone. Second interception of the night thrown by Xavier Anderson. With 41 seconds to go before halftime, look at the replay here, throwing it up for Trayshawn.
Yeah.
Both players just not on the same page right there to try to get that play.
Xavier was just, you can tell he's rushing because he's just chucking it up. And the way the Jayhawks are playing, they are playing 9 up, the cornerbacks are pressing up, and then the safeties are just playing deep center field, letting everything happen in front of them, and that ball just floated on. Xavier's definitely struggling right now to find any rhyme or rhythm to his throws.
Pfeiffer drops back to pass with 39 seconds to go before halftime. Deep, wide open. Wow, couldn't be any more wide open. On the catch is Ninow, breaks a tackle, end zone touchdown. An 80-yard touchdown reception by Ninow, and it is.
And if I'm Duncan,
going to be 20-0.
If I'm Duncan Furch, I'm absolutely livid at Trey Brooks, because right here you look at the coverage. He comes in looking, baiting for the interception. He actually stops and dives under. You can see him make a cut under and then not sprinting afterwards. I'm livid because he dogged it in the sense he thought he was going to underthrow it, took a terrible route, and that's 6.
Rogelio Sarin, you got to give him all the credit. He tried to get that tackle at the end, just could not get Ninow on an 80-yard reception for the touchdown. PAT almost blocked. It looked like Corey Smith was going to have the edge. But getting it through is Burton Gazabizzo, and the PAT is good, making it now 20-0. Bobcats trailing to the Jayhawks.
This feels, and I don't mean to overstate anything, but this kind of feels like a really important end of this half, into the second half, not just for today, but kind of how do you want this season to go? Because what we've seen so far is not a lot happening on offense, and that last drive felt a little bit of white flagging.
A lot of bad body language here tonight.
Yeah, that was very unfortunate just to see. You did things you can't do with 30 seconds to go. And you just see the Bobcats. It does not feel like there's much juice, and there's a ton of juice in the Jefferson sideline. You see a lot of high-fiving, a lot of coming around the TV to watch the plays, a lot of excitement in that young team, and the crowd is electric tonight too. The Bobcats are dead on the other side.
It is the 5-Star Real Estate Group in Marshalltown kickoff as Gazabizzo has it teed up. Trayshawn Brooks, Caleb Kuzero back to return for the Bobcats here at Kingston Stadium. Thursday night football on KFJB-TV. Good kickoff again. This one will be a touchback, and the Bobcats will have it at their own 20-yard line with 27 seconds to go before halftime. Not that I think there's any controversy, but, do you give Jacob Hayes, a sophomore backup quarterback, a look here in this situation? Xavier Anderson going both ways, already down 20-0 in this one.
I wouldn't do it based on negative play on Xavier.
Correct. I'm just thinking.
But if you're looking at the score, because I agree with you, could make a case if you're looking at the score. Xavier's already having to play a lot on the other side.
He's so exceptional at linebacker.
I could see that right now. A lot of it is he's rushing because in some ways he has to.
Yeah, for sure. Trayshawn Brooks is in the backfield. Anderson underneath center. Handoff fullback. As he'll bounce it outside up to the 23-yard line. A 3-yard gain as Davis Ragland picks up a few on first down. 14 seconds and counting. And the clock will stop at 13 as an injured Bobcat out on the field at the 24-yard line. A player is down for the Bobcats, trying to get a read on that number.
Is that Davis?
Not sure if it was Davis Ragland who was running the ball. I thought it was actually an offensive lineman who went down. But I do not see Ragland out there as well. So
I think it might be Davis. And he's had a really active game on both sides of the ball so far.
As you see the trainers working right there, working on the left ankle. The Bobcat player down, and I believe, it is Davis Ragland. So he's down on the field, and it is going to be 2nd down and 7 for the Bobcats.
Yeah, Bobcats so far 68 total yards of offense, while this Jefferson team has almost 200 yards of offense in the first half.
It is Ragland down as 13 seconds to go before halftime.
He is putting some pressure on it, is walking with some assistance, but definitely able to put some pressure on it.
13 seconds to go before the break, as the Bobcats might just run out the clock here and get to the locker room knowing you have the ball to start off the second half.
Yeah, there's nothing. You just knee it and you hope to make good adjustments. And you don't really even need to snap it.
Goodith will check in for Ragland here, as Trayshawn Brooks in the backfield. And the Bobcats will run one more play here, as Goodith will get the handoff, and he'll be dropped for a loss of a yard in the backfield. And that's how the first half will come to an end. It's been all Jayhawks. They've had a pick six. They've had an 80-yard bomb for a touchdown and a 2-yard rumble. They've really done it all here tonight in the first half.
Yeah, the Bobcats have been overmatched so far, from the down in the trenches to out on the wing positions. Bobcats have not shown a lot of life offensively, and the defense has been put into bad positions. And Jefferson is just flying high after beating Muscatine last week, looking to knock off their second M school in as many weeks.
Getting at the half, it's 20-0. Bobcats trailing the Jayhawks. This is Bobcat football. You're watching KFJB-TV.
The right insurance agent can make all the difference. Assured Partners agents represent multiple insurance companies. They can pick and choose from a larger variety of outstanding insurance options. Assured Partners also handles life and health insurance and Medicare supplement coverage. With access to local, regional, and national insurance companies, Assured Partners will create policies tailored to the coverage you need. For more information, go online to assuredpartners.com/Marshalltown. Power through partnership with Assured Partners in Marshalltown, Toledo, and West Des Moines.
It's Adventure On for Marshalltown Scouting. Adventures like backpacking, ziplining, rock climbing, canoeing, swimming, and more. Survival skills for a Scout's greatest adventure, life. Scouts give back to the community. Marshalltown Scouts have provided over 1 million hours of service to our community in our 70-plus year history. Scout leaders are highly trained and screened. Parents are a huge part of Scouting, too. Scouting provides unique opportunities available nowhere else. To learn more about Scouting in Marshalltown, go to iascouts.org. Adventure On.
Don't let concerns about shifts in the market disrupt your long-term financial goals. Edward Jones financial advisor Zach Wall can help. He'll work with you on an investment strategy for long-term results. Edward Jones can give you the tools and knowledge for a steady approach to hitting your financial targets. Get started by giving Zach Wall a call at 641-752-3017 in Marshalltown or visiting edwardjones.com. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
KFJB-TV presents the Bobcat Halftime Report.
At the break, it is 20-0. Jayhawks leading the Marshalltown Bobcats at Kingston Stadium in Cedar Rapids. Welcome back into the booth. I'm Brandon Lewis. Dylan Dose alongside me tonight. Rough first half of football for the Bobcats as they'll look to recover at the break, down 20-0. Just a lot of things. You can't really point to anything specific because special teams has not been good here tonight. Defense and offensive line of play has not getting pressure or blocked or given the quarterback enough time here tonight. Costly mistakes, a couple of interceptions by Xavier Anderson. It's just things are kind of compounding there in that first half, and Bobcats at the break will look to make those. And we've seen Adam Goodman, head coach for the Bobcats, make so many good halftime adjustments, but definitely multiple areas to focus on.
Yeah, it's almost overwhelming. What do you focus on? Because it really just has to come down to the basic fundamentals.
Yeah.
You have to be able to not turn the ball over. You have to be able to get off the field defensively, and there is no 21-point play. Yeah. It is, you have to be able to move it forward, get 3 touchdowns, but it all starts really the things that you can, body language, making smart decisions, This is going to be a very, very, very important second half for this week, but also throughout the season into October, because this is where teams either find their muster, stand up, and say, we're going to do this, we're going to be Bobcats, we're going to move forward, or they start to crack. And I trust that we've seen this squad quite a bit. They're always a much better second half. My money is on the Bobcats are going to get it figured out and move over and do some positive things in the second half.
Jefferson is leading 20-0, but the score got all going on this interception by Xavier Anderson, which was returned all the way. It was a Houston interception, and he was just trying to get that thing out of there in desperation, maybe trying to throw it away, but his arm looked like it got hit.
Yeah.
And then Houston put a stiff arm out to the quarterback at Xavier Anderson and was able to take it in all the way to go up 7-0 at that point. A 1-yard touchdown run by Snowdy, as well as an 80-yard touchdown pass from Pfeiffer to now have them up 20-0 at the break in this first half up on the Marshalltown Hy-Vee scoreboard. Well, let's look around the area scoreboard, which is all brought to you by Central State Bank. Of course, Central State Bank with locations in Ames State Center and in West Des Moines.
Muscatine finds themselves in another tight one after losing 33-24 to the Cedar Rapids Jefferson Jayhawks. They are now leading Davenport Central 14-13, and then Hoover is losing to Oskaloosa 8-13. A couple of real tight battles here tonight, along with, we know that GMG and GR Gladbrook-Rhinebeck are also in action here tonight.
Coming up, we will talk to Stacy Galima. She is the assistant AD on our halftime coverage from Cedar Rapids on KFJB-TV.
There's a city within a city not far from here. The city includes a beautiful apartment building with indoor parking, a chapel, a movie theater, a swimming pool, exercise and recreational facilities, putting greens, and more. The city isn't really a city, but it is a wonderful place to live. Make friends and live your best life. It's the Embers Retirement Community in Marshalltown. The Embers provides security, independence, and companionship. Beautiful grounds outside and lovely studio, 1- and 2-bedroom apartments inside. See it for yourself. The Embers in Marshalltown.
The votes have been tallied and the people have spoken. Central Iowa's home comfort specialist, Honest Heating and Cooling, is honored to have been voted best of the best in HVAC by you and the Times Republican. As a thanks, Honest is offering a 10% off sale, 10% off diagnostics, 10 off tune-ups, 10 off ductwork renovation, 10% off full system upgrades. Offer valid through September. So thanks for voting for Honest Heating and Cooling, where you'll find Amana, America's brand for comfort. Honest.
Hey, Bobcat Nation, welcome back into our coverage here on KFJB-TV. Stacy Galima, she is the assistant AD, joining me now as tomorrow night, it is a big night at 5:30, the unveiling of the project, the sports complex. Final touches being put on today as the Bobcats prepare for week number 3, a first home game. All right, so a lot of excitement surrounding this project, just over a $6 million project. Has it been pretty cool for you to look out the window and see the progress each and every day out here?
Yeah, it's been amazing. You know, with the athletic office moving to the outside of the track with the Roundhouse project, you're able to see everything from start to finish. You know, from way back in April when they started the project to now, and they've definitely made progress each and every day. You can see the difference that they made.
Mm-hmm. I mean, even the small details of putting the nice brick M in on the entrance to just the small details, new curb. I mean, you know, you look at the new track and the new football field. I mean, it's really, it seemed like a lot of thought went into this project. Was there a lot of meetings kind of leading up to this?
Yeah, a lot of meetings and a lot of very, talented, good people involved in the project from start to finish, whether it's people in the school district, obviously all of our contractors and stuff. It's really been a team effort to make it all come together and give Marshalltown, kind of that new look in our complex that we're looking for.
Mm-hmm. You know, in your time here, obviously leading the girls soccer program, being able to now, the benefits of the new project is that you're going to easily be able to host a postseason match, which was something you were not able to do before. So it's got to be a little reinvigorating, know that this project expands much further than maybe people think, just football and that kind of thing. All the other sports will be positively impacted by this.
Yeah, it's going to be used all sorts of for different venues and different events. Here for soccer, it's definitely a big difference. A wider field may allow us to play a little bit differently that we're used to playing in, kind of in the road. It's a little bit different when the field's a little bit narrow. So looking forward to seeing what that brings for, all of our student athletes.
Yeah, that is for sure. And, of course, final touches being put on here today in preparation for tomorrow. So 5:30, everything gets kicked off. What's going to go on tomorrow on Friday to showcase the new sports complex?
Yeah, a lot of it will just be, showing all the progress that they've made, all the things that have been put into place for this complex project. Some of our student athletes, our coaches, have the video board, things like that for everyone to come and take a look and see all the work that's been done over the last few months. So.
What's your favorite part of this project that you've seen so far?
I honestly just enjoy the excitement that people have. They put speed cushions in on Bobcat Boulevard, and that already slows people down, but it's almost like an extra one going by because they all want to stop and look.
Yeah, that is for sure. This video board that is out here as well is pretty impressive. You guys are going to be able to showcase videos and do different things like that, right?
Yeah, it's just another way to kind of promote our students, promote the things that we're doing here at the school, and obviously all of our sponsors, our support. It's a way to help them at the same time. So it'll be used a lot. So definitely, come out and see the board and see what we can do with it.
Hey, thanks for the time.
Yeah, appreciate it.
All right, that's Stacy Galima, Assistant AD here at Marshalltown High School. Has come out tomorrow night starting at 5:30, showcasing the new sports complex at Leonard Cole Field. This is Bobcat Football. You're watching KFJB-TV.
Since 1967, Jensen Ford Lincoln has served generations of families around central Iowa. Quality vehicles, professional service, knowledge of our product, that's a part of Jensen. But what's more important to us is a trust that is passed down from every generation. Jensen Ford Lincoln wants to serve your family. We want to be there for your first car, we want to be there for your family SUV, and we want to see you drive away in the Mustang you always dreamed of. At Jensen, we want to be here for you now and every mile along the way.
How can you help Marshalltown High School and enjoy a mouth-watering burger at the same time? By ordering the Bobcat Burger at Legends American Grill. 2 quarter-pound patties with crisp bacon strips, sauteed onions, and melted American cheddar, jack, and Swiss cheeses on top of fresh shredded lettuce on a toasted bun. It's absolutely delicious. $1 from every Bobcat Burger sold is donated by Legends to Marshalltown High School activities. So, enjoy a Bobcat Burger and help MHS. The Bobcat Burger, another exclusive from Legends American Grill in Marshalltown.
Today's game on KFJB-TV is brought to you by Jensen Ford, with you every mile along the way. Legends American Grill, Marshalltown Steakhouse. Lennox Employees Credit Union, LennoxECU.com. Marshalltown Area Chamber, Marshalltown, more than ever. Marshalltown Community College, a step in the right direction.
Back at Cedar Rapids tonight, Bobcats trailing 20-0 at the break to the Jayhawks. Much different than a year ago when the Bobcats absolutely dominated this matchup, 48-0, and the year before 68-25. It's year 2 under head coach Ed Miles, definitely turning things around here in Cedar Rapids. Let's take a look at our halftime stats, all presented by Ken's Transmission of Marshalltown.
It's not good, Brandon. 30 plays, 70 yards for the Bobcats, averaging 2 1/3 yards per play. And it comes down to leading rushers Trey Brooks with 32 yards on 3 carries. Xavion Anderson, 6 carries, 14 yards, and also throwing the ball. He's 7 of 14 for 12 yards and 2 picks. Davis Ragland, who went off hobbling late in the first half, does have 4 carries for 13 yards.
I was going to mention I did see him sprinting to the locker room before halftime, so good sign there.
That is a good sign. Now on the receiving side, Trey Brooks does have 3 catches for 9 yards, along with Aiden Smitherman, the sophomore, picking up his first reception for 6 yards. Flipping it off to Jefferson, Ashara Calero last year had 2 yards rushing on 15 carries. This year, he has 7 carries for 63 yards. That's 9 yards a clip. Jermaine Robinson, 1 carry, 3 yards. Zach Robinson, 2 carries, 9 yards, along with Anthony Snowdy, 2 carries, 4 yards, 1 big touchdown. Jeremiah Pfeiffer is 4 of 7 for 117 yards and a touchdown. He does also have a pick. Now LJ Nienow, who's the leading receiver with 9 catches last week, has 1, but it's a big one for 80 yards, an 80-yard touchdown with 30 seconds left to go in that first half. It was a backbreaker for the Bobcats.
That'll improve your average in a hurry.
Yes, it will. You go 9 catches for 90 yards. Let's be efficient. Let's just get that 90 yards in 1 catch.
Yeah, that is for sure. That's our Ken's Transmission halftime stats. Now time for our second half adjustments. We talked about it, a lot of different areas, but what's your key adjustment for that second half to turn things around for the Bobcats who receive the kickoff to begin the second half?
To echo your favorite Braden Weatherly, there's got to be some heart, hustle, and muscle here in the second half. It's as easy as that. I don't think there's a magic pill or a silver bullet. It's literally want to, have to, and knock them over, because the Bobcats aren't going to get bigger. They're not going to get stronger, but the effort and the attitude, I think, is where you've got to start.
Meanwhile, a shout-out to the Weatherly family. I know they're down in Texas. I got a message, and they are watching, and they love watching KFJB-TV, even though they're not watching Braden Weatherly anymore.
Yeah, well, it is cool. That I think you and I can both talk to that. It's been very, very cool, especially last year with KFJB-TV starting, where we'd start to hear a lot of these stories, not just radio coverage, but now you get to see it interact. And we really appreciate
family
it.
down in Georgia was watching and things like that. Really cool.
We see it from across the country, different people, and that does mean a lot. It affects, being able to watch the Bobcats, support the Bobcats, whether you're in Marshalltown and been there forever or you're from Marshalltown and you're now moved on, you get to stay connected.
That is for sure. That is our halftime stats and adjustments, all presented by Ken's Transmission, your family-owned transmission experts. Coming up after the game tonight, we have our Calvin Rocket Bar and Grill Player of the Game. Open for dine-in or patio or to go. Visit them pre or post game. They award a free handheld to the Bobcat Player of the Game. Second half is coming up next from Kingston Stadium in Cedar Rapids. Jefferson 20, Marshalltown nothing at the break on KFJB-TV.
Have you ever seen what it takes to fix a transmission? It takes a lot of patience, a lot of experience, and a whole lot of talent. At Ken's Transmission, they have all the above. Family owned and operated with over 62 years of experience in all areas of transmission, keeping your vehicle shifting smoothly, and routine maintenance, repair, and replacement, including automatic and manual. For reputable service you can trust, Ken's Transmission. Ken's Transmission at 306 East Ensign Street in Marshalltown is a proud sponsor of the Marshalltown Bobcats.
Bobcat Athletics here today on KFJB-TV, all presented by Ethington Heating and Cooling. We're not comfortable until you are, as they bring you our red zone coverage here tonight. Bobcats not in the red zone so far here tonight. Something on this first drive of the second half tells me they might get down there. I'm sure there was some choice words from head coach Adam Goodman to get his team motivated, because there was, like you mentioned, and I mentioned too, a little bit of bad body language, some things that are uncharacteristic of Adam Goodman-led teams.
Yeah, it feels like, I don't think a lot of the discussion in the locker room was a lot of X's and O's.
No.
I honestly don't think
I'm sure he was not looking for a lot of feedback either.
No, he was not. It was a one-way conversation. But you look at it, Bobcats were in plus territory 3 different times. It's not as if they have not been in positions to score. They just have not been able to execute in order to score. You flip it on, if you eliminate the pick six, and then just a bad coverage break with 30 seconds, it's still a one score. It isn't as Jefferson is just moving the ball wherever. It is you're gonna have to have a touchdown from an unforeseen circumstance. It's either gonna have to be some special teams return, or it's gonna have to be a pick six or a scoop and score.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna have to find a way to score a couple offensive touchdowns. Because here, right now, I can see the Bobcats' defense not giving anything up if the offense will come to the party.
Turnover on downs, punts. It was actually a snap over the head on that first one. Bad snap. And then a punt, interception, return for a touchdown. Turnover on downs, another snap over the head, another bad one. And then a punt and an interception and in the end of the half. That's how the Bobcat
was in
drives.
The end zone, too.
Yeah. So Bobcats struggled mightily in that first half. They will receive the kickoff here to begin the second half. Also coming up, we'll talk to, in the postgame show, we'll talk to head coach Adam Goodman. In our postgame interview, we'll also get our Lily Mae Chocolate Sweet play of the game. Last week it was Trayshawn Brooks with that play for the Bobcats. Up on the Marshalltown Hy-Vee scoreboard, 12 minutes on the clock as Cedar Rapids Jefferson ready to kick off to begin the second half of action as the Bobcat offense will come out. Much different than a year ago. Bobcats racked up 447 yards of offense. 354 were on the ground as Ace Holmes, 178 yards and 2 touchdowns a year ago in this game. That was a performance to see. I mean, one of my favorite all-time high school players that I've watched in general, but to see him, the physicality and the leadership he brought to this team last year was just so much fun. So.
Yeah, Les, there's a couple just from Ace Holmes was just incredible to watch. But then you saw, by this time last year, Kuanon Kwani was.
Yeah.
He was at a
mauler, man.
He was
a
next
mauler.
level.
Yeah, he was.
And they were so big and experienced in that center, right guard, left guard that they just aren't this year.
5-Star Real Estate Group. Kickoff is away. Trayshawn Brooks will touch it in the end zone. It is back there for a touchback. Cats will have it at the 20-yard line to begin the second half. As the Bobcats and Jayhawks do battle here tonight in week number 2 at Kingston Stadium in Cedar Rapids.
Just watching that Jefferson sideline, even from managers or younger kids that are just don't have shoulder pads on, just sprinting to go get the tee and stuff. They're sprinting to go get it, come back out. It's high fives all along.
Yep.
There is so much electricity down after a program that has not won a lot, got a win last week, is in position to potentially get 2 wins in a row. The Bobcats is just kind of dead on that other side.
Kuzero and Brooks both move in the backfield. Kuzero's going to get the handoff. He spin moves at the 20, and he's up over the 25-yard line. One of the best runs we've seen here tonight. An 8-yard gain on first down. 2nd and 2 for the Bobcats as Kuzero carries right there. That's his second carry of the night.
Yeah, went behind Tyrell French and Owen Eaton. They got able to get a little bit, and then Caleb was able to make the one-man miss and pick up positive yards. Nice job by Caleb Kuzero.
16 yards on the ground last week. He had 2 receptions for 28 yards. Xavier Anderson up the gut. First down yardage on the QB sneak. A 4-yard gain for the Bobcat quarterback. As a first down right here on the first drive of the second half. You'd love to see the start of this drive. This is good.
I love the call for the quarterback sneak on 2nd and 2.
Yeah,
often
why not?
You're not expecting it on that second down. Yeah, that third down, last hurrah, last chance. And to be able to get the rhythm, you could tell they were not looking forward to it. 2 carries, 12 yards. Bobcats starting to roll a little bit.
I formation, first time we've seen this tonight. Trayshawn Brooks, the deep back. Hand off right side. Trayshawn jukes the defender. Now has to juke back inside, dives to the 35. All that dancing gains him 3 yards. It'll be 2nd down and 7. If he wasn't so shifty and fast, that would probably been a loss or a gain of nothing right there, but just such a elusive player.
Evan Smith's out there just waiting for him, and it didn't matter. Trey just went right around him.
Yeah,
because Evan was in great position, and Trey's like, nope, and went right around the outside.
Wingback is Kuzaro standing on the right side of the line. Corey Smith on the top of your screen. Handoff, in the backfield, 3 yards. A mauler of a man in the backfield. Jaden McCauley, the sophomore DT, just eats up the Cats for a loss of 3 on the handoff right there to the fullback, Davis Ragland.
And it's good to see Davis out there, but the other thing is they've ran that fullback out of that formation quite a bit tonight, and my goodness, the line just kind of folded, and it was right in the backfield, as you said, 3 yards, and Davis just got the football.
3rd and 3 as the Cats break the huddle from the I formation.
3rd and 10 now.
3rd and 10, excuse me, yeah. Ball resting in the middle of the field, pitch out far side. Good pursuit. Boy, the 4 guys push back. Trayshawn Brooks inside. He's lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage, maybe a gain of 1. But excellent pursuit to the edges by the Jayhawk defenders. Brings up 4th and 9. 9-10 and counting, 3rd quarter, and the Bobcat drive stalls out. Punt crew out.
Yeah, and the first down and distance, they got some rhythm to it. That second one, it slowed down, and then it was a loss on the play, and it just couldn't get any rhythm. Bobcats are now punting.
Corey Smith with an excellent punt here over midfield, down to the 40. Takes a very good bounce. It's going to get inside the 30, down to the 25. And finally picked up at the 23-yard line. Flag flies late as the Jayhawks, I think, might have been doing a little bit of jawing back towards the Bobcats. Jacob Goodith, who's standing in the middle of the field, ready for the defense, get ready to go. And actually, it might be a sideline warning as they're moving everybody back on the near side. And so, yeah, sideline warning, as that will just be a warning, no penalty enforced. With 8:38, 3rd quarter, back to the Jayhawks. Bobcats with another punt here tonight.
Yeah, when Corey's been allowed to punt, when he's been able to receive it, he's had a couple 40-plus yard punts, done well with that opportunity. And it looks we got a Cedar Rapids Colonels win.
We got a win over there as Cedar Rapids takes it away. I love the flashing lights.
You get the flashing lights.
One of my favorite things.
It's one of mine as well. So.
I used to do that at home when I was a kid. You know?
Yes.
Quit flipping the lights on and off.
I do that to get my eldest attention when he's in the basement playing Xbox.
8:38 in the 3rd quarter. Pfeiffer brings a man in motion. High snaps, bring it down as Cololero will rush off of left guard and is eaten into the backfield as he makes not into the backfield, but makes the tackle as Cololero will have a decent gain. 2nd and 5 as he picks up 5 on 1st down. Look at that. We can see him shaking hands over there, clapping, you know.
Yeah, we'd like a little bit of that to happen with us in a comeback. But Owen Eaton, you see him making a play, and he was able to grab him by one hand. Owen Eaton is so important for this team because he is the strength. He is the size on the line, and he's got to make a ton of plays for the Bobcats to get back into this.
Trips left, man in motion. That's Zach Robinson. He's going to run the wide receiver sweep as he breaks 3 tackles up to the 40-yard line. As that is a 10-yard rumble for a 1st down.
He did a really nice job, was able to get the edge, but then he showed patience, and he allowed the defense to overrun it, and he was able to cut back up and pick up another 3-4 yards. A nice job by number 9.
So Robinson picks up the 1st down.
There you see it as he gets to the edge, and this is where you see him, all right, settles down a little bit, cuts it up, and he didn't get just 3 or 4. He got 6 or 7 after he was able to cut it back up.
It was a 10-yard gain right there to move the sticks. 7.5 minutes to go, 3rd quarter. Cololero will run it off of left guard, and he'll pick up decent yards on 1st down, as actually that was Dante Washington who checks into the game, and he'll rush it for his 2nd time on the evening as he's able to pick up a good solid nearly 5 yards up to the 44-yard line.
And that puts them over 100 yards rushing. It's just they've had a lot of opportunity. They've been able to move it on the ground and in the air. That's now 218 total yards of offense.
3 wide receivers set to the right, 1 to the near side. Split out. Now, as he already has a touchdown to his name, he's going to block for Washington. Bounces outside. The numbers at the 50. Spin move. Out of a tackle by Rogelio Serra and up to the 40-yard line. as that nearly a 20-yard carry. It's going to be a gain of right around 17 yards to move the chains. And Washington, a little two-headed monster right here to pick up that big gain.
And it all happened because Xavier Anderson bought the fake and jumped inside. He didn't set the edge on that right outside linebacker position, and then they just sprung it. You've got to keep the edge out there as a backer, and that's because it's a young linebacking crew. And a lot of its first varsity action at a real high level.
Pfeiffer with a man in motion. Washington again gets the handoff, keeps those legs moving down to the 35, a 5-yard pickup. And apparently Washington is their second half guy because he looks explosive with a couple of really nice runs.
Yeah, not to bemoan anything, or kind of hit it over and over, but Bobcats are playing a lot of two-way guys. And you're seeing mostly those same numbers on both sides. You've seen a lot of hands on hips, a lot of just people taking those deep breaths, just trying to find oxygen at the end of them.
Wide receiver in motion, and Bronson handoff up the gut and push back as Gudith will come up and make the tackle for the Bobcats, as Washington got the handoff right up the middle. Only a gain of 1 that time. It'll bring up 3rd down and 4. All on the near side hash.
And this is a big one. You see about 2 yards to take. This is where you're getting it. It's going to have to come down to Tyrell French. It's going to have Ignacio Macias. It's going to be Barker, Eaton. They have got to get pressure.
Another man in motion again, Bronson. They'll throw it to him out of the backfield. He was wide open for a first down, but the throw is strong from Pfeiffer. It's incomplete. That'll bring up 4th down and 2.
Perfect play call, missed execution, because he would have been able to run for quite a bit. Just let him a little too much, and it looks like it's going to be they're going to go for it on 4th down, which makes a lot of sense. You're kind of a little bit too far out to kick, but why punt it from the 32?
Washington stands to the left of his quarterback and Pfeiffer. 4 wide receivers. 9 out to the near side. Sarin is guarding on him. Pfeiffer drops back, looks to 9 now. Slant route. He's up to the 21st down. And it's a pickup of 12 yards to move the chains for Cedar Rapids, Jefferson.
Some good play calls here in the last couple plays for Cedar Rapids Jefferson. 9 out just had to get inside the cornerback there. You see it right here. It's just a Rogelio Sarin playing outside coverage as not to get burned, and it just opened it up and put it right on the money.
Making the huddle at the 20 inside the Bobcat red zone now. 3 wide receivers. They kind of really run that. They didn't start out the night really with a 4 wide receiver spread, but they have really moved into that here, and it's been exceptional for them. Pfeiffer's going to run it himself. I think we're going to have holding on the near side. Looked like the left tackle and Colin Woods might have been holding. Flag flew right as Pfeiffer was scrambling to the near side. Did not really pick up anything as the marker at the 23, so most likely going to be a long situation here for the Jayhawks.
Yeah, really, they've been their best. The Bobcats' best defense and best offense has been Jefferson's mistakes.
Still with the penalty marked out back to the 30-yard line, a 10-yard penalty. Going to be 1st down and 20. 9L will split out to the far side of the field. In the slot is Zach Robinson for Cedar Rapids. Jefferson is the Jayhawks in the shotgun. Cololero is checked back in at running back. He'll pick up a blitz. Pfeiffer under pressure. Stiff arms his own offensive lineman, loads up. No coverage. How are you left that wide open? It is caught by the slot man, Zach Robinson. Touchdown. It is a 30-yard touchdown strike, and it is now 26-0.
That's what being in. He's able to be 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, my goodness. That was that Corey Smith let him go? It was on that right side. He just leaked out the backside, and the safety was gone. Cornerback didn't go with him, and that's all she wrote. No one was within 15 yards of him.
Zach Robinson with the 30-yard touchdown reception. As on for the PAT.
Blocked.
Is Bizzo, and it is blocked, so it will remain 26-0 with 3:53 third quarter on KFJB-TV.
The equity in your home is power. Power to remodel your home. Take a memorable vacation. Add a deck or patio. Lennox Employees Credit Union can help you unleash the financial power you possess with a home equity loan. Consolidate debt, fund a student loan, or pay for a wedding. The loan process is easy. See Lennox Employees Credit Union, 1004 East Main Street in Marshalltown. Member NCUA, Equal Housing Lender. Online at lennoxecu.com.
26-0 is our score as the Bobcats are trailing it on the road with 3:53 third quarter. Time for a scoreboard update, which is all brought to you by Central State Bank.
It was the best of times and the worst of times, depending if you're talking to GMG or Gladbrook-Rhinebeck. Gladbrook-Rhinebeck putting it to them, won 78-0 tonight, while Janesville is taking care of GMG 52-12.
That is our Central State Bank scoreboard. Our kickoff all brought to you by 5-Star Real Estate Group, Marshalltown, your home team advantage. Trayshawn Brooks, Caleb Kuzero back to return for the Bobcats. Bizzo is out to kick it away. And another deep kick, but this one will go back to the 2 as Kuzero fields. Good block he got from Trayshawn Brooks up to the 30. Slips through a tackle past the 35-yard line, and the Bobcats will have good field position for their second drive of the second half. They punted on their first drive as 3:43 remains in the third quarter.
And you see Caleb around there. You see that nice pop by Trey Brooks. Good downfield blocking by Corey Smith. Caleb, what I like about Caleb is he's tenacious, and he just went. He wasn't messing around. He was getting as many yards as he could. At the 33, it's now or never for the Bobcats.
Bobcats will start underneath center with Xavier Anderson. Hand off on an end around to Trayshawn Brooks, trying to slip through tackles, holding on Kuzero on the near side. This will be brought back 10 yards. It'll be 1st and 20 as he was holding the corner on the near side as Dante Washington, the corner, was being held.
And they could have called it on Max Reed, the sophomore center as well. It's just they are not getting they're not getting out of their stance, let alone up and hitting. They're not getting out of their stance quick enough as Jefferson is just running right past them.
So holding the call, 1st and 20 for the Bobcats. Xavier Anderson runs in from the sideline, has the play call.
We see as Bobcats right now just running down, you see Xavier Anderson right now is 7 of 14 again for 12 yards and 2 picks. Trey Brooks, leading rusher, 5 carries, 36 yards.
Xavier Anderson looks to go to the air. He has pressure in his face, scrambling as he will evade the pressure and back to the line of scrimmage just in time. Boy, he hardly had anything to do right there. And like you mentioned, not really getting off to the block. And I don't know how Anthony Snowdy was that far in the backfield at that point in the play, but he was. And Bobcats lose even more. I believe it's going to be second down and about 23, 24 yards to go for the first down.
Nick Wise is back in, and when Nick Wise has been in, part of it has been, hey, we're having another blocker. And they've used Nick well to bring that secondary blocker, but it's really hard to gauge.
Sweep to the near side. Trayshawn already pressured his face back to the 20. It'll be a loss of 1. It will be 3rd and 22.
It's really hard to gauge how well Xavier's playing because he hasn't been given any opportunity, so he's hard to really look at. You see Trey there. Really, when we get him to the outside, it's like, all right, Trey, you got to make something happen, but you're going to have to make 4 guys miss to get there. And it's really just a precarious
You can't
situation.
do that all night.
Yeah,
and Cedar Rapids is playing up a little bit like Mason City did last week, so they are limiting your ability to get to the edge because there's already so many guys to defend the edge.
Yeah, and in times past we had tight ends that now play at NDSU, and you had some of those big guys in the middle.
Yeah.
And that's just not the case.
Yeah, unfortunately, Johan Gomez, one of the guys at tight end, not out there here tonight, but Bobcats will take a timeout with 2:25 to go, third quarter on KFJB-TV.
Like to work with your hands? Enjoy the satisfaction of building something that lasts and knowing you played a part in it. If so, Marshalltown Community College's construction program might be just right for you. This hands-on program is great training for a real-world job. Call or stop in to Marshalltown Community College to learn more. Fall term classes start August 28th.
2:25 to go, third quarter. Bobcats trailing 26-0. It is third down and 22 yards to go for the Bobcat offense. Holding obviously not helping, and then a couple of negative yard plays.
Yeah.
And so shotgun formation out of the timeout taken by Adam Goodman. Xavier Anderson has Nick Wise to his left, three wide receivers. Trey Sean on the bottom of your screen. Low snap, brings it up, looks to pass over the middle of the field, but the pass is behind Smitherman. He drops it, incomplete, 4th and 22.
And here comes the punt. It's just when we're that far, when it's 4th and 22, you want to do something that isn't a high risk. You want to be able, hey, can I get a short pass or whatnot? Just a little bit behind. Bobcats can punt, and Corey's done a nice job there when he gets a clean snap, and he's been able to punt effectively all night long.
So Smith, who averaged nearly 30 yards per punt last week, will have a clean snap, and this one's away, but it's a wobbler and short of the 40 and out of bounds at the 39. So not quite the yardage the Bobcats had hoped, and it's good field position at the 39-yard line in Bobcat territory as Corey Smith is down on the field after that punt was away, as he's holding his left leg after that punt was away. I'm not sure. I didn't see exactly.
You wonder if it's a cramp.
Could have been.
Kind of a weird.
Yeah, his leg looks like it's kind of stiffened up on that thigh for him. So
yeah,
they are going to stretch him out in a cramp here in this situation for the Bobcats. 26-0 is our score up on the Marshalltown Hy-Vee scoreboard. 2:10 to go in the third quarter. As we just got a scoreboard update just a moment ago. A light night around the state on a Thursday night, but a lot of good games coming up tomorrow night, as well as, of course, everybody in 5A always has an eye on Valley and Dowling, one of the games, as Waukee and Waukee Northwest. So some good Des Moines Metro games tomorrow night.
It is rivalry weekend in the metro area.
It is,
sure.
yeah. West Marshall takes on South Hamilton, and East Marshall
has Cedar. We got the Eagles. See if East Marshall can go 2-0. Making the alma mater proud of the win last week. Would love to see the Mustangs go to 2-0.
Corey Smith will be helped up, and it looks like he's okay and dealing with possibly a cramp in that thigh. Especially being a punter, that's your plant leg on the right, you know.
Yeah, those are the legs pretty important in the punting game.
Have you ever seen a punter stiffen up mid-punt,
Go straight rigor mortis halfway through. Oh. I'd love to see, this is, it's been a tough night, and I know these kids have been out there a long time.
Especially on the defensive side.
Right, and we're starting to see a couple new numbers coming in.
Sam Griesel's checked in at safety,
We're seeing Zach Wilder's out there at the linebacking
Kyle
position.
Smith at corner is on the far side.
Yeah, we're seeing some new, fresh faces out there.
New quarterback into the game as well for Cedar Rapids Jefferson. As it will be a QB run, and it's going to be a run down to the 15-yard line.
Theory Boyd just Yeah, just hit the Jets. Came out that backside of it. The play
That's
was
actually
moving
his middle
right.
name is Jets. Theory Jets Boyd.
I love it. Oil Can Boyd's kid. And just off to the left, that's for all the old Red Sox fans from 1978.
Washington handoff, and a good play by Xavier Anderson. 5 yards in the backfield. He'll make the stop as the backup quarterback with that run. That was a nice one, as 25 yards on the run for the backup quarterback. In Theory Boyd, he is just a sophomore at 6 foot.
Yeah.
And Pfeiffer's back in at quarterback.
Yeah, it looked like they just wanted to mix it up a little bit. I think he's...
Okay, Colalero stands to his right, blocking for Pfeiffer. Pfeiffer, deep shot to the back corner, and it's incomplete. Kyle Smith with good coverage. At the backside of the end zone, it is incomplete. And I believe they just took a shot to, Theory Boyd, the man who ran it out of the Wildcat, I guess you could say. He is a backup quarterback, but he went to the corner of the end zone, incomplete, but good coverage. I like what I saw out of Kyle Smith right there on that play.
Yeah, much better. Last week we saw him slip a couple times. You could just tell it was first time in varsity, really playing. And that was good, solid coverage, able to take care of that top, not allow Boyd to get behind him.
Brandon Lewis with you as Dylan Doe's alongside tonight at Kingston Stadium in Cedar Rapids. Timeout before the snap was taken by Ed Miles, head coach for the Jefferson Jayhawks.
McGregor's Furniture and Mattress has your mattress. Every firmness, comfort, and support level, each at a great price. Make the investment today for a good night's sleep for years to come. McGregor's also has quality furniture for every room in your home. Beautiful, comfortable sofas, recliners, dinette sets, and office furniture to help you work and relax in comfort and style. McGregor's Furniture is proud to bring you quality furniture and great service, and they are proud to support Bobcat Athletics. McGregor's Furniture and Mattress, downtown Marshalltown, open 7 days a week.
Beautiful night in Cedar Rapids as the Jayhawks capitalizing on the beautiful weather. 26-0, they lead it.
Yeah, you see the great side of Quaker Oats out there. I love their oatmeal, and they take care of the baseball
They do have
field.
a gluten-free option as well.
They do?
Yeah.
Well, do you know they're also the ones that take care of the Little League field at the Iowa Vets Home?
I did know that. You told me that, I think.
I love Quaker Oats, and I'm big in the stats of Quaker Oats.
Pfeiffer rolls out far side, just dumps it out of play, as that will bring up 4th down. He had nobody open. Good coverage downfield by the Bobcats.
And I do have to say hashtag paid advertisement. Quaker Oats, I'm in their back pocket.
I would hope so, after that kind of endorsement.
That's right.
4th down and 15 for Cedar Rapids, as Jefferson going to go for the field goal here.
He's got the leg for it. He's had some bad luck, some errant kicks. He's had one blocked, 2 hit the uprights, but he definitely has the leg to make it from that 38-yard field goal.
38-yard field goal from the right hash, and timeout is taken. Oh, delay of game. Back him up. 1:10 third quarter, delay of game. I was looking around what was going on, and then finally, delay of game is called as the clock had hit 0, so back him up 5 yards.
He's a kid. We've saw him kick. We've seen kickoffs.
Yep.
Don't know how accurate it'll be. Does he have the leg to do 43? I think he does.
Well, he's 2 for 2 for hitting the upright tonight when he's tried.
And he has not hit it low.
Yep.
It's going to be a 42-yard field.
42, yes. 42 from the right hash for Gazabizzo. Snap's good, holds good, kick looks good, and it's left. No good.
Plenty of leg.
Plenty of leg, though. That was good from 50, but not on point right there. So missed field goal by Gazabizzo, and it's back to the Bobcats as they'll have possession up at the 20-yard line. I never really liked that rule in high school. I always forget that's the rule, that no matter what, a missed field goal, you go to the 20.
Yeah, it does.
Terrible rule.
There are weird,
top 5 worst rules in high school football.
There are weird rules across the board that, for whatever reason, that you get at high school versus versus college versus
Correct,
pros.
yeah,
and it's indiscriminate.
Because I think college is at the line of scrimmage, not where they kick, and then the NFL is from where they kick, right?
Yep.
Handoff Ragland right side, met in the backfield. No room to work back to the line of scrimmage. Tough sledding for Ragland, 2nd and 10.
And at the MFL level, you're not allowed to kick. So that's how it all.
No, I thought you were allowed to kick, but there was no. Okay, yeah, you're right. The MFL. Some leagues at the youth level, they don't allow anybody out there aside from the holder and the kicker. There's nobody allowed to block.
That's fantastic.
That's the league I want to be in.
I'll be your holder any day, Brandon.
Xavier Anderson underneath center. 3 backs. Fake the handoff rollout. Looking to dump it over, but behind Lincoln Barker. He had the tight end wide open. If that pass is on point, Barker's got a first down.
And I really like the formation there. Is a bunch formation. You have a little bit of confusion with the 3 backs there. And Xavier's able to come out, get on a rollout, clean, get a clean throw, and he's just on the move and he's not allowing to throw the receiver open. He's throwing to where he was, and it just ends up being behind him.
Yeah.
But again, it's hard. It's really hard to say, "Hey, how you doing, Xavier?" Because he has had to rush, and now they have 2 seconds left on the play clock.
Oh, hustle line of scrimmage, get the handoff, but it is again Cedar Rapids Jefferson in the backfield, 4 yards deep and a loss for Trayshawn Brooks and a whole host of guys coming in there, including Jade McCauley, the sophomore. We've talked about him a few times here tonight. 7 quarters without a touchdown. Bobcats have only produced 3 points in 7 quarters of play in 2 weeks. We head to the final 4th quarter in Cedar Rapids at Kingston Stadium next, with the Bobcats trailing 26-0 on the road on KFJB-TV.
Small businesses are the backbone of our community. Marshalltown Area Chamber of Commerce reminds you that when you shop locally, you are benefiting members of our community and adding to our local community overall. You'll find local business owners are generally more knowledgeable, provide better service, and even know their customers by name. Marshalltown Area Chamber of Commerce exists to be an advocate for our business community. Membership in the Chamber benefits your business and adds to the strength of our advocacy efforts. For more information on shopping locally and Chamber membership, go to Marshalltown.org.
Fourth quarter at Kingston Stadium in Cedar Rapids. Jayhawks 26-0 leading as we head to the 4th quarter. Bobcats, like I mentioned, going to break 7 quarters without a touchdown through the season so far. Something's got to give, though, at some point.
Yeah, they offensively, they're very, very limited. And defense hasn't been able to really create turnovers either. And I'm not sure what that is. You know, if it was another bad snap. And
4th and 13, punt is away. And, yeah, you're right, bad snap, but it takes a good roll over midfield.
Luis has been a find.
Yeah, and that's the first punt for him here tonight as Corey Smith has handled all the duties. But Luis Monet is on to punt right there, and you like what you see.
Yeah, he had about a 40-yard, got a good roll, but he's been kicking right-footed and left-footed. You see a left-footed punt there. He's not many high
I knew
school
that
teams.
Some people are ambidextrous and can throw left and right, but what do they call it when you can kick left and right?
That's what I'm wondering. Maybe it's still ambidextrous or pedidextrous? I don't know if I like that. We're going to move back to ambidextrous.
1st and 10 for Pfeiffer, hands off. And Owen Eaton and crew are back there to make a stop in the backfield. And you really like what we've seen
that
by
was Macias. Ignacio
correct.
Macias got in there again. He was the one, and Owen Eaton is down, which isn't great. But Ignacio Macias
made first contact on that
part
play.
He's built so low to the ground that we really couldn't see him up here. We saw Owen eat him up at the end, but he's been I
like what I've seen from him.
He has been a very surprising. If I'm saying like who's surprising me, Nick Wise has been surprised, but we've seen him play baseball and stuff. We know that if he's on the team, he makes it on the field. It just seems to be how it is. Ignacio has been a kid I didn't really know anything about, and he just makes plays. He's in the backfield a lot.
Owen Eaton able to get up on his own. Stretching out that hip.
Yeah.
Looked like a move my chiropractor was putting on me earlier today.
Do you feel adjusted?
I do.
Physically, emotionally, spiritually?
Not emotionally.
Not emotionally. It is a Thursday night. You're hanging out with me. It's the original must-see
Bunch
TV.
of dudes in the van tonight on the way over.
Man, you had me at a bunch of dudes in a van. I tell you what, we're having a good time here in Cedar Rapids.
2nd and 13 and a big gaping hole off right guard, breaking a couple of tackles potentially out of bounds at the 15.
And, late hit on Xavier Anderson will add to it.
Yep.
And we have another.
First and goal.
Looks like Jacob Gudith was messing around
Slow
with
to
his
get
calf
up
a little bit,
Yep.
yeah.
But a shifty run. He went off right guard, and it was just a big hole. Puts on a couple of juke moves. A couple of Bobcats run into each other. And he's down to the 25-yard line. And Xavier Anderson kind of knew it as he turned around as he hit him a little bit late going out of play right there. But a huge run by the running back right there in Calolero.
Calolero had 2 yards against us last year, had 251 yards last week. He's found that happy middle. He's at 95 yards so far tonight. But my goodness.
He's had a 39 and a 35-yard run. He's just shifty enough that when you give him room, he will get going. It takes him a little while to get chugging down road, though.
And there was a flag back here, actually.
At the 45.
There's a
holding.
flag back. I totally missed that.
It's coming back. I did. I did not see that.
I totally missed that.
Wow.
And then it's a dead ball personal foul, so they'll go back and then they'll go forward.
Two steps forward, 1 step back.
Paul Abdul in full effect. Yeah, you don't see that too often, and why is that? Well, the holding penalty will be assessed because that happened during the play, and the personal foul's a late hit, so it's deemed post-play. So that's very rarely will you see 2 penalties assessed after 1 play, but that's how it happens. 1 is called during the play, 1 is post-play. And it creates a first down when it's all said and done at the 41.
In Bobcat territory, Pfeiffer on the near side hash with his Jayhawk team up 26-0. Still 11 minutes to go, fourth quarter. Claps his hands, drop back, wide receiver screen. They've got it to 9 now. He already had an 80-yard touchdown reception. He's going to work to the near side, and short of the 30 as Rogelio Sarin pushes him out of bounds. And that one's going to be near first down territory, but I think they're going to be about a half-yard short as they're down at the 28-yard line. But wide receiver screen. And
you see this little tunnel screen. Nice kick-out block there to keep Xavier Anderson out of the play, 9.5 yards across.
That will shorten the average for 9 now. After 1 for 80, he's got 3 for 101.
Yeah.
Pfeiffer underneath center. We haven't seen this a whole lot. Washington's checked back in at running back. And they'll go, whoa, Pfeiffer loading up. Rainbow shot to 9 now. It's way over his head and out of bounds. Incomplete. It'll be 3rd and 1.
Yeah,
that was, I don't know.
You kind of felt like it was something like that because
it was scripted.
They don't go under center. And to do that and to throw deep, that's a unique way of doing it, just because if you're Pfeiffer, you're not used to throwing the ball that way.
Yep.
But you kind of got a sense, okay, we're real close. We have kind of a play to mess with. Let's take a shot at it.
Pfeiffer underneath center. He'll hand it off to Washington. Met in the backfield, but he runs over a Bobcat and runs out of a tackle, and he's down to the 26-yard line. So good run right there as he picks up 6 yards to get the first down as he runs over Permana for the Bobcats.
We haven't seen much of Mohamed Permana.
Yeah, he goes by Unga.
Unga, okay.
Yep.
That's
he's
a cool
sophomore.
name.
Goes by Unga.
Are you sure you don't want to go like something cool?
I'm going to go by Tunga.
Tunga, I like it. Tunga Lewis.
Kind of like Tank over here. I'm kind of a Tank Lewis.
That's Flower pot doughs.
We had
what I want to go by.
We had the whole Husky conversation, you know. Mom says I'm just big boned.
Yeah, the whole thing. And this is for our fans that ever wore
fans of the booth, not fans of the podcast.
Size 14 Rustler Huskies. For any of you that ever had those in your drawers or dressers growing up, we salute you.
It is 2nd down and 10 after an incomplete pass for the Jayhawks. Washington stands to the left of his quarterback at Pfeiffer. 3 wide receiver set. Pitch out to the running back. Finds a seam. Breaks an initial tackle as 2 defensive tackles were chasing him. But coming up and making the play for the Bobcats, I think that was Sam Griesel on the tackle, and it was.
That Dante Washington reminds me a little bit way back in the day of Dave Meggett, or you think of a Darren Sproles, or the kid that now with Dallas from Kansas State, the kid from last year, really short and shifty. Really
Deuce Vaughn.
Good. Deuce Vaughn, very similar, built low to the ground, quick feet, good vision.
So 3rd and 4 after the nice gain for Washington. It's a sweep to the near side. And it's coming as Zach Robinson. He is going to get close to a first down on 3rd and 4. They might have to measure this thing as we count towards 9 minutes to play in Cedar Rapids here tonight. I think they're going to mark it 4th down and 1 yard to go. Ball resting on the near side hash. Pfeiffer underneath center, and he's going to put a shoulder down, and he has the first down. He is down to just on the other side of the 16, near the 15. So a first down for the Jayhawks.
Are they going to call for? They haven't signaled. Now they do.
Yep.
It is a first down. If I remove myself from my Bobcat fandom, all right, is you see a team with a bunch of young.
I have officially removed you. Yes.
A bunch of young kids that are really trying hard, lose 26 games in a row, and they get to go to school tomorrow on a Friday 2-0. That's a pretty cool story if you're Cedar Rapids Jefferson.
Cololero handoff right up the gut. Get down near the 10-yard line. It will be a gain of 4 yards down to the 11-yard line.
You think of those 2.5 years of not winning, you go to school, if it be a Friday or the next Monday.
Almost
it's not
3
cool.
years,
yeah,
because they won their first game 3 years ago and then lost 8 in a row.
And it was shortened because of COVID.
Yeah.
So it was a shorter season.
Or, I think they lost 6 in a row or whatever it was. But, 2nd and 6. Cololero, a nice cutback off left tackle. Jukes and jives, a first down inside the 5, down to the 3. Ball resting in the middle of the field. Jayhawks up 26-0 with 7:47 fourth quarter. Bobcats still have not scored a touchdown in 7 quarters. They look to end the night with hopefully getting one of those at least to end on a high note tonight.
Yeah, I thought last week there was some things early I thought they did effectively. Tonight it was just really tough. There wasn't a lot of plays building on themselves.
Cololero gets the handoff off right guard. He is going for the end zone, but going to be about a yard short. It's a 2-yard gain, 2nd and 1.
Yeah, and we talked about this. That's a nice job from that second team defense to kind of bow up a little bit, not give anything for free out there. As you're looking at players like Jackson Hinkle's now out there, the sophomore defensive tackle. You're seeing a lot of underclassmen out there.
They're looking to get Cololero into the end zone, and he will as he runs over a Bobcat into the end zone. Touchdown, Cololero, as it is now 32-0. Jayhawks on top of the Bobcats as he pushes over Pramana to get in for the score from 1 yard out.
Yeah, just manned up and just ran through him. This is, we said key to the game, looking at it, was it blip or build? And I really feel like Jefferson's starting to build something.
Going on the other side, though, your keys was the play of the line, and that has also been a little bit of the demise here tonight for the Bobcats. PAT is up, and it is good. It's 33-0 Jayhawks on top of the Bobcats.
Like to work with your hands? Enjoy the satisfaction of building something that lasts and knowing you played a part in it. If so, Marshalltown Community College's construction program might be just right for you. This hands-on program is great training for a real-world job. Call or stop in to Marshalltown Community College to learn more. Fall term classes start August 28th.
Tough night for the Bobcats. They trail now 33-0. Jayhawks literally running all over the Bobcats. 171 yards on the ground tonight, 168 through the air.
Yeah, it has just been kind of just picking them apart. It is the Bobcats can't keep the defensive line and linebackers off of Xavier Anderson on defense, not getting any pressure. It really is some huge holes being ripped apart. Another shout-out to that middle part of the offensive line of Liam Smith, Cade Chisholm, and Matthew Helly for the Jayhawks. They are just ripping apart the inside of the Bobcats' defensive line.
It is the 5-Star Real Estate Group Kickoff online at 5starhometeam.com. Trayshawn Brooks, Caleb Kuzero back to return for the Bobcats. And the kick is away. This one a good one again. Playable, though, at the 2 for Kuzero. Gets outside at the 20. And up towards the 35. That's where the Bobcats will start this possession. Time for a scoreboard update, all brought to you by Central State Bank.
Yes, we have Muscatine beats Davenport Central 14-13 in a close one. And then we talked about a little bit earlier that Gladbrook-Rhinebeck just ripping apart, winning 78-0, while Janesville was up on GMG 52-12. I'll tell you, Caleb Kuzero very fast, but there's a number 77 on the Jayhawks that plays on that JV squad, so not wearing shoulder pads for this. To sprint to get the tee back, it is offensive lineman fast, and it is impressive.
6:39, fourth quarter. Bobcats looking for their first touchdown of the season. Backup quarterback is in for the Cats. As running it off of right guard, it is Jacob Hayes in. We saw him a little bit late in week number 1 as he came against the Mason City at a 5-yard run in that one. But Bobcats only ran a couple plays with some of the reserves in. He gets a look here with the final 6 minutes of this one.
Yeah, Jacob is a lanky athlete. Learning the game, had played tight end in junior high, really just kind of switched over to quarterback.
Some at the JV level last year, though, in baseball.
Yeah, last year was,
year. He's got a good arm.
He's got a big-time arm, and to me, it's almost thinking of we're family friends, and so I get to talk to him quite a bit, and it feels like he's just starting to learn how to do it, almost like when a giraffe learns how to walk, a little wobbly knee.
Yeah.
But when you look at him, it feels like he's got a lot of natural talent, and it's getting it to become skill is where he's at.
So after a false start on the Bobcats, it's 2nd and 13. Low snap. He has to bring it up. And a nice play as he turns a negative play into a positive one right there for Jacob Hayes. Scrambling forward after the penalty yardage. as Jacob Hayes will pick up nearly right around almost 7 yards.
And we see Manuel Perez Mendoza kind of come up a little bit gingerly. It seems, and it all seems to be kind of like tight calves, whatnot. But it seems like Jacob's been said, all right, do this one thing. And because he's just putting his foot in the ground and going, stripping away any of the decision-making and any of that anxiety.
Hayes will run, and he'll be short of the sticks. He picks up another yard after that 7-yard gain. It'll be 4th down and 2 yards to go. And most likely this is a situation we'll see the Bobcats go for it here.
Yeah.
With 5 minutes to go.
Yeah, they're looking at this. This is, do you try to throw it? You know, you're seeing a lot of new names out there. You're seeing Declan Green on this side. You're seeing a lot of new faces on the field.
Low snap brings it in and almost picked. It's caught in a first down for the Bobcats as they make the play on the near side. And as you've mentioned, that was Sam Griesel. That was on the bottom side of your screen making the catch and almost a pick six.
That was 6 millimeters from being a pick six.
Yeah.
That thing was just outside, but put it on the rope and got a first down.
Sam Griesel, a junior for the Bobcats, 5'10", 165, makes the catch, the first down. As Jacob Hayes with that completion to pick it up. 1st and 10, ball marked at the 42-yard line on the near side hash. Hayes will run. Edges come in and kind of collapse things down on Hayes, only a gain of 1.
It's nice when you're that 6'2", 6'3", and that is, we were talking about, like, he has no clue how he's measured at 6'1". He's at least an inch and a half taller than Xavier. But it would be nice to fall forward and have more than 2 yards. I don't know what that's like. It's about 1.5 yards when I fall forward, but...
Yeah. Nick Wise is the running back. He stands to the right of the quarterback in Jacob Hayes for the Bobcats. Sophomore action tonight for the Bobcats. Hayes calls for it, rolls out, false start. I think somebody on the left side of that offensive line might have been pulling and got moving a little bit quick. So, 2nd and 9 will be backed up for 2nd and 14. 3:24 remaining in this one. 33-0 Jayhawks on top of the Bobcats. Bobcats will break the huddle. 3 wide receiver set. Still in Max Reed, the starting center for the Bobcats. Hayes gets hit as he throws, and luckily it's incomplete as he got hit right as he released that one. It lollipop over there to the far side of the field, and luckily the DB had slipped on the turf, and it is incomplete.
And
that's a tough one right there.
Yeah, he
getting hit right on the hip.
Yeah, he got lit up. One of the things that's interesting to see, this Cedar Rapids Jefferson student section, as this game has progressed, they've gotten louder and louder.
Bobcats will break the huddle as Jacob Hayes has 3 wide receivers set. Wise to his left. Calls for it. Looks right. Darts it. And it is incomplete. Bradley Cable almost came up with his 2nd interception of the night. It's through his hands in 4th and 13. Here comes the special teams unit.
Yeah, they're going to punt. There's some things, you know, I think a lot of it's all about reps. And really, chances are this year at some point you're going to need 2 quarterbacks with some of the issues blocking and a lot of the hits. And the fact that Xavier's playing so much on the defensive side of the ball, you're going to need Jacob to feel comfortable.
Luis Monet with it over his head, picks it up, and it's picked up by Cedar Rapids. And his 2nd touchdown of the night, it's Anthony Snowdy. He ran one in from 2 yards in earlier, and now he picks up a high snap. Luis Monet not able to pick it up or at least cover it up. And Cedar Rapids back on the board, making it 39-0.
Just sailed it, and the long snapping has been a real issue here tonight. Not much to say. Good thing we don't get paid by the word.
They are reversing what the Bobcats did to the Jayhawks last year. 48-0.
And honestly, it could have been worse. There's been some mistakes and miscues by the Jayhawks.
Bizzo will nail the PAT. It's 40-0, 2:58 fourth quarter.
You should never have to wait after ordering new appliances. At Penn's Appliance, you wouldn't. With an incredible selection in stock and ready to install today. Our friendly team is here to help you pick the perfect set to match your style. And let our professional technicians install and set up your new appliances, often delivering the very next day. Stop in today, see all the new features, and find your new look at Penn's Appliance. For sales and service of everything appliance, go see the Pence team.
Welcome back to Cedar Rapids. Brandon Lewis, Dylan Doze. Kickoff momentarily, all brought to you by 5-Star Real Estate Group. Buy, sell, love Marshalltown with Kristen Pauley and the 5-Star team online at 5starhometeam.com. I mean, I hate to hammer, but special teams is one area that when I was growing up, that's the one you really paid the price for at practice.
Yeah.
You were running special teams, and that's been the real low point here tonight, unfortunately. Guzerell Fields, he'll go up the far side up to the 20 and shot down as he fielded that one at around the 70-yard line. Clock will count as we have a running clock here in the fourth quarter with a 40-0 game as Jacob Hayes will come back out offensively for the Bobcats. A lot of learning to do.
Yeah.
And I have an extra day to do it.
Yeah.
Between now and their home opener against Davenport North next Friday night.
And you hope that added juice of new field and everything,
Yep.
maybe that's just a little bit extra of what they need. Davenport North, we'll see. They've got to travel across. Don't know much about them. Don't play them hardly ever.
Slant route caught up at the 27-yard line. They'll give them some forward progression as Declan Green makes the reception for the Bobcats, a sophomore at 5'8".
Yeah, Jacob Hayes is back there. Throws almost like Jesse Orozco. It's a sidearm sling.
He's a
to it.
gunslinger, man.
Right off the hip. He's got
it.
He's got the six holster. He's got that holster on the side. 6-shooter going.
Hayes dropping back, slings it out far side. Boy, that coverage was, yes, thank you. I don't know if you can get more of pass interference than that on Dante Washington.
Well, they do call Dante Baby Bjorn. He just hops in the little Baby Bjorn and he rides you.
Intended target is Talon Holstead, a sophomore wide receiver. That is a big sophomore class, and to see them in a couple more years from now.
Yeah. You know, it's how do you find a weight room leader? You know, we've talked a little bit about that.
Yeah.
Because I think that's really going to be the big thing is who from that younger class can put on that needed size and strength in the trenches. Because there are some skill guys. There's some skill guys in that senior class. It's just in the trenches.
Hayes slings it. Incomplete. And a little high to his intended target.
Blaine Landeros.
Blaine Landeros, a senior. It is off of his fingertips. Brother of famous fullback Trap.
Patrick
Landeros, yeah. Bobcats back in the day.
I feel like against
400
Newton, I think against
fullback
Newton,
Traps.
I think Newton, he had 103 plays called to him in a row.
It worked.
It did.
Until it didn't.
Yep.
Hayes, a rollout. Deep downfield's got a man caught. Bobcats' biggest play of the night comes from Sam Griesel down into Jayhawk territory at the 32.
Yeah, put it right on the money. You know, look at here. Jacob gets out to the right. If he could have put a little air under it, it might have been actually that coverage from the safety. Perfect job by Jacob.
Rollout, Hayes goes deep downfield. Oh, almost caught, and pass interference is going to be called. Bobcats get another play. Talon Halstead is the intended target. They're going to announce the final score, but there is a penalty flag on the field. And I would imagine the Bobcats will run another play, as it looks like it was pass interference on the defense.
There is a flag.
You got to finish it out.
You do have to finish it out. You may see Bobcats decline it.
No, they're going to run another play.
It looks like they're going to run it.
They're going to run another play, and they're going to go deep shot, and we're going to get a touchdown on the final play of the game.
Tonight did not turn out the way we thought it would. But
I'm liking what I'm seeing out here at the end, though.
Yeah, you know, definitely a different style of defense from Jefferson. You're not pressing. You're not playing the same, but it is good
Reserves
to see.
In, but I like to see the young guys underneath the Friday night lights get a chance and go out and compete.
And success breeds success.
All right, 3 wide receivers. Jacob Hayes calls for it. He's going to load up. Dropping back. Now he's going to run. Hayes fakes back inside, down to the 5 and out of bounds. Inside the 5, down at the 3. As Hayes scrambles for nearly 14 yards there at the end. 12-yard run for Jacob Hayes. Got the first down, but that will end the game. And the Bobcats held scoreless now 8 straight quarters as they fall. Well, they had a field goal last week, but touchdownless in 8 quarters. 40-0 the final score here tonight.
Yeah, it was domination by Jefferson from beginning to end. Bobcats just could not get anything going. The couple times they had it in plus, 4 times they had it in plus territory, just nothing happening. Biggest play came down. They were on the 14-yard line going into half, down 13-0. Chance to score a touchdown and get the ball back, throw a pick in the end zone, and then that 80-yard pass play with 30 seconds to go before the half, and that's all she wrote.
Well, Ed Miles definitely has things turned in the right direction. They're now 2-0 on the season as the Jayhawks win it 40-0 here tonight against your Bobcats. We head to the locker room report next. This is Bobcat football. You're watching KFJB-TV.
You should never have to wait after ordering new appliances. At Penn's Appliance, you wouldn't. With an incredible selection in stock and ready to install today. Our friendly team is here to help you pick the perfect set to match your style. And let our professional technicians install and set up your new appliances, often delivering the very next day. Stop in today, see all the new features, and find your new look at Penn's Appliance. For sales and service of everything appliance, go see the Pence team.
At Sports Plus Sports Medicine and Physical Therapy Center, we customize each patient's treatment plan to their individual needs. What does that mean? It means that not every back or knee problem is treated the same, and that your program will be unique and designed especially for your needs or problem. This improves how quickly you will return to work or sports. The Sports Plus staff is encouraging and takes pride in your successful recovery. This is just one more reason why champions choose Sports Plus Physical Therapy as their favorite place to rehabilitate and train.
The KFJB-TV Locker Room Report, presented by Wells Fargo Advisors in Marshalltown.
40-0 the final score. Welcome into the Locker Room Report as the Bobcats defeated at the hands of the Jayhawks as they reverse the butt whooping that they laid on the Jayhawks last year and reverse this year in a big way. Impressed by Ed Miles in his second year. I thought his team did a lot of really good things here tonight, but I also think Bobcats did a lot of things not the right way. Special teams unit, just turning it over, giving them a short field. You can't continually do that and then ask your defense to go out there and make plays all night.
Yeah, you don't win 40-0 and it be just because of the mistakes the other team made, and you don't lose 40-0 just because the other team did so many things well. So it's a mix of both. I thought Calero looked much better than he did last year. You saw much more physicality from their lines, but you could tell that Nainau, Pfeiffer even looked better, that they can make some plays there. But then you look at the Bobcats, it was poor snaps. It was really being one-dimensional on offense, getting pushed around on the lines. It just was kind of a bad Thursday night in Cedar Rapids, Iowa.
Well, the Bobcats fall 40-0. Let's take a look at our Lily May sweet play of the game here tonight, as it's all brought to you by Lily May in Marshalltown. Of course, handmade, hand-dipped since 1939. Always open at lilymaychocolate.com. Here's our play of the game here tonight. Back-to-back weeks for Trayshawn Brooks getting our sweet play of the game as he made a pick against Pfeiffer back in the second quarter of things, as he was able to return that for positive territory back to the 25. That is our Lily May sweet play of the game. Of course, Lily May located in Marshalltown. This is the Locker Room Report. You're watching KFJB-TV.
You look forward to retirement as your time to relax. But now that it's here, turns out relaxation is overrated and you'd rather get back to work with an idea of your own. Wells Fargo Advisors can help. For more than 125 years, we've created wealth management and investment strategies aimed at achieving our clients' personal financial goals. When retirement plans change course, turn to Wells Fargo Advisors. Together, we'll go far.
Wells Fargo Advisors is located at 14 East South Ridge Road in Marshalltown. Call them at 641-752-5401. They're a member SIPC.
Sign up now for the Bowling League at Wayward Social in Marshalltown. So enjoy that like you did so many times in the past. Also enjoy their outdoor patio, Gutter Point Patio and Bar for lunch, dinner, or your favorite beverages. Daily lunch specials each Tuesday through Friday. Happy hours from 3 to 6 p.m. Also Tuesday through Friday. It's a great place to meet your friends after work. Whether it's bowling, dining, the arcade, or your favorite beverage, Wayward Social is the place for you on South 6th Street in Marshalltown.
Today's game on KFJB-TV is brought to you by McGregor's Furniture and Mattress. Quality furniture for every room in your home. Pence Appliance and TV. For sales and service of everything appliance, come see the Pence team. Wayward Social. The place for bowling, games, food, and more. Wells Fargo Advisors. Marshalltown. Sports Plus. Sports Medicine and Physical Therapy Center. SportsPlusTherapy.com.
Back in on the Locker Room Report from Cedar Rapids, 40-0 on the Marshalltown High-B scoreboard. Let's take a look at the scoreboard, all brought to you by Central State Bank, locations in Ames State Center and in West Des Moines.
Yeah, big one is Davenport Central loses to Muscatine, 14-13. Gladbrook Rhinebeck, no problem, 78-0, winning there. And then you get Janesville taking care of GMG, 52-12. We do not have a final in that Oskaloosa Hoover game, but at last score, Oskaloosa was up 13-8.
40-0 our final here at Kingston Stadium in Cedar Rapids tonight. Let's name our Calvin Rocket Bar and Grill player of the game. All presented by Calvin Rocket Bar and Grill in Marshalltown. Open for dine-in, patio, or to-go. Visit them pre or post-game. Well, on a difficult night, kind of hard to assess who the player of the game is, but we'll give it to Davis Ragland. I thought he fought through a little bit of an injury there before halftime, came back, played well at linebacker tonight, and did rush the ball for 5 times for 10 yards for the Bobcats, as he's our player of the game. All brought to you by Calvin Rocket Bar and Grill in Marshalltown. Each week, Calvin Rocket awards a free handheld to the Bobcat player of the game. This is the Locker Room Report on KFJB-TV.
Hey Bobcats, this is Garrett with Calvin Rocket. I'm happy to partner up with KFJB and continue the tradition of Bobcat Player of the Week. Follow us on social media for all your Calvin favorites, news specials, and exciting news that's coming down the road. Stop on in and give us a try. We're open Monday through Thursday, 11 to 9 p.m., Friday and Saturday, 11 to 10 p.m., and starting September 10th, we'll be open on Sundays for the start of the NFL season. We'll see you at Calvin Rocket, and go Bobcats.
You look forward to retirement as your time to relax. But now that it's here, turns out relaxation is overrated and you'd rather get back to work with an idea of your own. Wells Fargo Advisors can help. For more than 125 years, we've created wealth management and investment strategies aimed at achieving our clients' personal financial goals. When retirement plans change course, turn to Wells Fargo Advisors. Together, we'll go far.
Wells Fargo Advisors is located at 14 East South Ridge Road in Marshalltown. Call them at 641-752-5401. They're a member SIPC.
The KFJB-TV Locker Room Report, presented by Wells Fargo Advisors in Marshalltown.
Welcome back into the Locker Room Report here on KFJB-TV, all presented by Wells Fargo Advisors in Marshalltown. Thanks for joining us tonight. Brady Lewis, Dylan Dose alongside me. And, of course, looking at this one, putting it in the rearview mirror, haven't scored a touchdown in 8 quarters, just a field goal. And how do you really rebound? You've got an extra day to do so.
It really comes down to this is going to probably be an offensively challenged team. It just is. So you're going to have to come up with opportunities to get scores in some unique ways, and you are just going to have to get off the field when you can. So it comes down to you got an extra day of practice. We do like a lot of the work that we're getting from our sophomores, so more reps from them. Can you see from Aiden, Kyle Smith, Jacob Hayes, Nick Wise? You saw some other sophomores getting some run late in the game. Just giving them more and more reps, see them grow this year.
Yeah, that is for sure. Our post-game interview with head coach Adam Goodman, Marshalltown YWCA for Youth Development, Healthy Living, and Social Responsibility. And so we do not see Coach here tonight, so we will take a quick timeout. This is Bobcat Football and KFJB-TV.
The Marshalltown YMCA-YWCA is a place for everyone, no matter their age or background. We strive to create a facility that is welcoming and inviting to all. We offer a gym, 2 pools, the latest in exercise and strength training equipment, and a running track. We also offer youth and adult sports leagues, CrossFit, swim lessons, preschool and childcare, group exercise classes, and more. We're more than a gym. We're a community where friendships are made and lives are improved every day. Visit ymca-ywca.org or stop by for a tour.
Welcome back to Kingston Stadium in Cedar Rapids, 40-0 again. The final as the Jayhawks take down your Bobcats here on the road in week number 2 on a Thursday night underneath the lights in Cedar Rapids. Our next game is coming up on Friday night next week as the Bobcats have their home opener as they host Davenport North. Pregame show at 6:30, kickoff at 7:30 here on KFJB-TV. Be sure to hit the like and subscribe button and get upcoming game alerts on your home for the Cats. It's KFJB-TV.
You planned and saved for your child to go to college, but medical school after graduation was a surprise. A happy, expensive surprise. Wells Fargo Advisors can help. For more than 125 years, we've created wealth management and investment strategies aimed at achieving our clients' personal financial goals. When opportunities surprise you, turn to Wells Fargo Advisors. Together, we'll go far.
Wells Fargo Advisors is located at 14 East South Ridge Road in Marshalltown. Call them at 641-752-5401. They're a member SIPC.
Pushed out of the pocket. Barker is chasing and getting it to him. Wade throws late over the middle of the field. Is it picked? Do the Bobcats have it? Yeah, they do! Final time from Kingston Stadium in Cedar Rapids. We wrap things up here tonight. Thanks so much for our crew making the trip to Cedar Rapids here tonight. As Todd Steinkamp, our producer, Keith Stewart, Joe Cornwell on camera, as well as Jesse DeMeyer back at our KFJB radio studios. Thanks so much to Zach Tomish on stats here tonight, as the Bobcats only rolled up 88 on the ground and 48 through the air as they look to get things figured out for next week.
Yeah, much of that was in the last couple drives, kind of in garbage time, as Jacob Hayes had 36 yards in the air, 23 yards on the ground. So in his almost 60 yards just from the sophomore there in the fourth quarter, it was a slog. And no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Hope you have an opportunity to make it out tomorrow night as at the Bobcat Sports Complex, 5:30 to 7:30, kind of an open house kind of thing, a presentation right around 6:30 highlighting all the upgrades made at the Bobcat Sports Complex.
Yeah, and I figure if you see Brandon and I know we're up for you guys to come see us. We will sign whatever memorabilia you have, even if you don't want us to.
Well, yeah, I mean, well said, I guess. Whatever.
Whatever. Famous last words.
Better days ahead for the Bobcats. They fall tonight 40-0 on the road at Cedar Rapids, Jefferson. For Dylan Does, I'm Brandon Lewis. Have a great rest of your Thursday nights. And one final scoreboard update I can report. The Huskers are 0-1. They lost to Minnesota tonight, so it's a good night regardless.
It is 10-3, 2.5 minutes ago. Minnesota scores a touchdown, makes it 10-10. Then Minnesota kicks a field goal as time expires, and they win.
It's always a good night when Nebraska loses.
I don't like the Gophers. I hate the Huskers. Go Gophers.
Hey, when my Colorado Buffaloes are 1-0 facing Nebraska next week.
I'll take it.
Yeah, that is for sure. Hey, have a great rest of your Thursday night. We will talk to you next week from Marshalltown. This is Bobcat Football. You've been watching KFJB-TV.
Today's game on KFJB-TV was brought to you by Assured Partners, Boy Scouts of America, Edward Jones, Agent Zach Wall, Embers Retirement Community, Jensen Ford, Legends American Grill, Lennox Employees Credit Union, Marshalltown Area Chamber, Marshalltown Community College, McGregor's Furniture and Mattress, Pence Appliance and TV, Wayward Social, Zeno's, Wandering Creek, Wells Fargo Advisors, Farm Bureau, Agent Austin Illum, Rainbow Car Wash, Laurel Diesel Services, Ken's Transmission, 5-Star Real Estate Group, Brown's Shoe Fit, Calvin Rocket, Effington Heating and Cooling, Lily May Chocolate, Marshalltown YMCA YWCA.
Wow.